prior to their game against Tampa Bay, and the Dolphins' defensive end Robert Quinn raised a fist, just like he did last season.
Fox's Trace Gallagher. Some players also raised fists at the Eagles-Steelers game as the new league policy's on hold. It asks players who want to protest to stay in the locker room during the anthem. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Cloudy skies after a night of rain showers and heavy weather across the Chicagoland area. Currently 71 degrees at 5:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Chicago police will be cracking down on large, unsanctioned street parties in an effort to prevent gun violence. Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson announcing the strategy yesterday following an examination of last week's bloody weekend. The police department is also deploying hundreds of additional officers this week to the more violent districts on the south and west sides. President Trump is hitting Chicago's political leadership hard over the spike in gun violence.
That's bad stuff happening, and probably, I guess you have to take from the leadership. Let's go bad to leadership. There's no reason in a million years that something like that should be happening in Chicago.
Speaking yesterday in New Jersey, the president said the bad things that are happening is to be blamed on poor leadership, and he has been critical of city leaders in the past. Meantime, Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner says Chicago's mayor has failed to stop the violence in the city. Rauner yesterday blamed Mayor Rahm Emanuel for the spike in shootings that left more than 12 dead and 70 wounded. 2 teenage boys and a woman wounded following a drive-by shooting on Chicago's west side. Police say the victims were standing on the sidewalk in the 3800 block of West Arthington Street when someone in a passing vehicle opened fire. Authorities have identified the man killed during a home invasion on Chicago's far south side. Police say 4 people broke into the home of Demetrius Jones yesterday near 97th and Harvard. Jones got into a physical altercation with one of the suspects, who then shot and killed him. A wanted sex offender from Texas could be here in the Chicago area. David Salcedo Medina is on Texas's list of the 10 most wanted sex offenders and is known to have strong ties to the Chicago area. Medina was convicted in 2008 for the attempted sexual battery of a 12-year-old girl. Willie Wilson is defending his recent cash giveaways during his bid to become mayor of Chicago. Speaking yesterday at the Chicago Baptist Institute, the businessman said the Illinois Attorney General's request for information about his charitable handouts was simply politically motivated. He added he's tired of white people telling him what to do. The president of the Willow Creek Association is apologizing for how allegations of sexual misconduct against Willow Creek megachurch founder Bill Hybels were handled. Speaking yesterday at the association's annual Global Leadership Summit, Tom DeVries told a packed auditorium that mistakes were made by not condemning Hybels' actions to a greater degree and more publicly. Other church elders and other pastors stepped down this week. Family and friends are remembering a Chicago teen struck and killed by a Metro train last weekend. A vigil and balloon release held last night at Lane Tech High School on the north side to honor rising senior Sincere Ash. The 17-year-old died Sunday when he was struck by that train in the Lincoln Park neighborhood after he left Lollapalooza. The Illinois State Board of Education says it was 76,000 voters, not 500,000, that had their information hacked back in 2016. ISBE Director Steve Sandvoss wrote Governor Rauner a letter this week saying the FBI's July indictment of Russian hackers had mentioned 500,000 voters having their personal information accessed. But Sandvoss says the FBI assured him many times that Illinois actually only had about 76,000 exposures. There's a big change coming to those who work for the state of Illinois. Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner has signed a law requiring state jobs to be located in the capital city unless there's a good reason to put them elsewhere. The Republicans' action is designed to save the state millions and some Springfield pride. It also makes Sangamon County the default location for Illinois state government. There are a lot of people who are talking about the butter cow at the Illinois State Fair, but not because it's a beautiful piece of art. Artists who crafted the cow out of nearly 600 pounds of butter misspelled bicentennial on the cow's plaque. Double N's in the wrong place. Fair's dairy building manager says they've fixed that typo. Now are ready to welcome visitors to the fair through next weekend. Bears' starting offense did not click, but the rest of the team played pretty well in their 30-27 loss to the Bengals in Cincinnati. Quarterback Mitch Trubisky stumbled through the first two series. Was held to -1 yard on 8 plays. Cubs and Nationals open a 3-game series this afternoon at Wrigley. White Sox begin a 3-game set with the Indians tonight at Guaranteed Rate Field. The News is a service of the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Use your power to cure and pedal with a purpose at Spin for Crohn's and Colitis Cures. Grab some friends to join you for this high-energy indoor cycling event benefiting the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Visit spin4.org to learn more. 5:08, and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
President Trump creating some Russia investigation news of his own this week when he
You can talk about the weather, but the weather didn't pull the trigger.
If the Democrats get in, they're going to raise your taxes. You're going to have crime all over the place. You're going to have people pouring across the border.
We all still share the same objective of making sure that Iran doesn't get deliverable nuclear weapons.
What happens next?
That's a beauty.
Happens here. This is AM 560. The Answer.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology actively invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you, the needle in the haystack.
Try ZipRecruiter now for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
What happened? You used to go hours without visiting the bathroom. Now it seems like you're constantly getting up to pee. Listen, the makers of Super Beta Prostate are introducing a new wonder pill, Super Beta Prostate P3 Advanced, with 3 key ingredients that are great for your prostate. To celebrate, your first 30-day supply is free. Pay shipping and handling. Get P3 Advanced free. Call 1-800-215-9360. 1-800-215-9360. 1-800-215-9360.
Seems like summer just got started, but it's not too soon to start thinking about the fall, at least when it comes to your child's education. Registration for fall enrollment for grades 7 through 12 is happening now at St. John's Northwestern Military Academy, providing young men and now women with an outstanding education and preparation for life. Since 1884, St. John's Northwestern Military Academy in the beautiful Lake County region of southeast Wisconsin has been developing the minds and shaping the character of young men from around the country and around the world, many of whom have gone on to achieve great success. And now, that same opportunity is available for young women. They prepare cadets for success in life by instilling a solid work ethic, an understanding of the value of integrity and teamwork, and the ability to think critically, communicate well, and function in a diverse and ever-changing world. To learn more about fall enrollment or to schedule a visit, call 1-800-SJ-CADET. That's 1-800-SJ-CADET, or visit their website, sjnma.org.
When you need bug bite relief.
Ow! Ow! What? Ow! Yikes!
Stepped in an ant bed relief.
What a pretty plant. Wait, is that
Poison ivy relief. You need the power of Gold Bond Relief. Gold Bond Rapid Relief Cream has twice the medicines of hydrocortisone formulas to fight itch and relieve minor pain. Plus, vitamin E and aloe to help soothe skin fast. Gold Bond Relief starts now. Use as directed.
If you wear a denture, are you sure your breath is clean and fresh? Try Polident. It's specifically designed to clean a denture because it's tough on odor-causing bacteria, but gentle on the denture itself. Polident has a 4-in-1 cleaning system with 4 powerful ingredients that work together to deep clean your denture. It kills 99.99% of odor-causing bacteria in laboratory testing and helps to remove stains. Feel confident and clean every day with Polident. Available at Walmart for a low price every day.
511. Let's get an update on the roads this morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good Friday morning, Mike. We have news just reported on the Edens inbound at Willow Road. There's a rollover crash reported. No word yet on which lanes, if any, are blocked. And that's inbound on the Edens at Willow. Get some earlier roadwork delays, which have largely dissipated. The other Chicago expressways look good at this hour. There is some morning work on the outbound Ryan, 87th split, 3 right lanes. That's still 6 this morning. And again today, there's morning work on the Veterans Memorial Tollway, northbound to the Des Plaines River Bridge, most of the way up to the Army Trail Toll Plaza. There's some moving construction. There is some southbound work in that area as well. Now, Lakeshore Drive has reopened. It was closed for bridge testing during the overnight hours right near Navy Pier, actually between Wacker and Grand Avenue. Drive is open again. It'll be a busy traffic weekend. Number of concerts tonight, including in Finley Park and at Soldier Field. Cubs, Sox, Sky, and Red Stars are all home. And there are a lot of festival closures and parades and road races this weekend. Traffic service of unbound.org. There's a girl in El Salvador who dreams of becoming an engineer. An elder in Uganda who dreams of having a community to call his own. No 2 dreams are the same. Help one person achieve theirs at unbound.org. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Patchy fog for the morning away from the city. Otherwise, a warm day today with partial sunshine, high 84. Partly cloudy night, low 67. Then tomorrow, a mix of sun and some clouds, high 86, and a mainly clear night, low 69. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
71 at O'Hare, 72 along the lakefront, 67 this morning in Aurora. Your next news update is at 5:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by On Target Radio. From firearms and Second Amendment rights to personal freedoms and government intrusions. Listen here Sunday nights at 9.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So you watch those insufferable self-congratulatory award shows like the Oscars.
Yeah, and the Emmys, sometimes the Tonys.
Sure. People's Choice.
People's Choice Award. That's a good one.
Nickelodeon.
I don't watch that one.
Oscars.
MTV Awards.
The Oscars.
Yeah.
You watch the Oscars?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. You were one of the few that did last year. So few, in fact, that the Oscars announced yesterday they're changing the program to try and
well, it goes on forever. You
be
could
more
drive.
relevant.
You could drive to St. Louis, and the Oscars program is still not over.
Well, that's one issue they addressed. 24 competitive awards where the general public only cares about a few: Best Actor, Best Actress. And again, I renew my call, which they did not address, to eliminate gender-specific categories.
Oh, yeah.
There's no such thing as gender anymore. And it would be nice if Hollywood would stop being so rigidly conservative when it comes to gender. But here's the big one. The big one is there are going to be 3 kinds of best movie: best animated feature, best picture, and now outstanding achievement in popular film.
Which means the blockbuster of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Casting aside artistic integrity for the filthy dollar. Isn't that unfortunate? Mark Stein had a great riff on Stuart Varney yesterday about this announcement and the hypocrisy of Hollywood that it exposes.
And as you said, Stuart, it's the dishonor. For 11 and a half months of the year, the motion picture business now is like Ant-Man 3, Iron Man 7, Cardboard Man 12, Franchise Man 53. And then for like 3 weeks before the Oscars, it's all suddenly like Oscar bait chick flicks, produced by Harvey Weinstein, oddly enough. And they pretend they're great artists. So it tells the sobering story of a woman growing up in transphobic Manitoba. And you think, wait a minute, I never saw this film. It was just Franchise Man 57 when it was at the multiplex. That's all. So that's the thing. It's actually the contradiction between who they pretend to be and what this business model is.
Yeah, Stein even cracked himself up there with his... the story of living in transphobic Manitoba that comes out 3 weeks before the Oscars, he's exactly right. He nails it. So I don't know. I mean, on the one hand, it breaks from tradition. The best picture is the best picture, and then you can compare best pictures over the many, many years. On the other hand, I don't know. I guess it's more honest. And this way, Black Panther will get an Academy Award.
That is what I was thinking when I heard that. Because remember, Oscar's So White? Remember that whole thing when not one African-American was nominated in any top category? Because it just happened. It was that year. Some years you'll have a lot of African-Americans nominated. So, what happened? The big one will be, you're right, will be Black Panther.
What happened that year, the Oscar So White year, is, oh my gosh, could it be that the white liberals in charge of Hollywood are racist? Oh, no. Heavens. No. Oh, we better cover our tracks like we do in every other aspect of in our lives where we, kind of behave in one way for the purposes of separating ourselves from the others, really was the point here. I mean, you see it the same thing in Chicago. Hey, give those people in those neighborhoods some stuff, so they don't come to my neighborhood. That's liberalism. That's really what it is. And so that Oscar thing was about the same thing. But, so...
and then also
now we'll have these new categories to debate.
And during the commercial breaks, they're going to hand out some technical awards instead of doing it during the show.
TV. Yeah, right. Yeah. And also, too, Best Animated Feature.
Oh.
Because you got all these Pixar movies that need Academy Awards, too.
Well, that's their children's movies. I mean, that's their bread and butter. I love animated films if they're well done. What's your favorite one? How to Train Your Dragon or How to Train Your Dragon 2?
Yeah.
That movie's actually about big government. I love that movie.
I liked The Incredibles. I also liked Cardboard Man 57, to borrow from Mark Stein.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Some other blockbusters.
Yeah, Deadpool deserves
Deadpool.
Yeah, sure.
I love Deadpool. Did you see Deadpool 2 or Deadpool 57?
I have seen Deadpool 2. Also good.
Is it good? Is it appropriate for Peyton and Eli?
No.
So that means they can see it. All right, today, partly sunny, seasonably warm. It is humid out there, folks. A high of 84 degrees. Your weekend looks like this: Saturday, sunshine, some clouds, a high of 86. And on Sunday, pretty much the same, a high of 87. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Good Friday morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. Eden's inbound at Willow got a rollover crash. Not seeing any real backup yet. Keeping an eye on that on the inbound side. Kennedy's clear, so is the Eisenhower. Overnight work has cleared on the Stevenson, LaGrange Road, also on the inbound Ryan near downtown. Outbound, there's still work, 80 south split, 3 right lane. Traffic still gets through there pretty much at posted speeds. Lakeshore Drive is open again at the Chicago River after the bridge was closed overnight. Some morning work on the Veterans Memorial Tollway, but traffic is pretty light in that area. Pilsen 18th Street block between Ashland and Blue Island Avenue filming again this morning. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
All right, if you're a hardworking, independent-minded, right-leaning, card-carrying carpenter, bricklayer, operating engineer, iron worker, electrician, plumber, first responder, teacher, mechanic, or truck driver, then join the Northwest Side GOP Club and fellow card-carrying union members this Saturday, August 11th, that's tomorrow, for an indoor-outdoor party with live music at the Iron Horse Ale House in Chicago. $10 cover, and a cash bar. See all the details at facebook.com/NWSGOP or just visit NWSGOP.com.
A good parking lot is essential to a good building and a good business.
This is Kevin Berquist. My company is SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. Great parking lots. The name says it all. We make your parking lot great. We are an industry leader in seal coating. You can trust our company to do the work for your company. We have the same traditional values as you. We use a process and application that makes sure you get a great job that lasts a long time. I guarantee you'll have a good experience. Check it out, GreatParkingLots.com.
Go to GreatParkingLots.com. Schedule a free inspection and get a quote to make your parking lot a great parking lot. Special early season discounts if you act now. Save the expense. Fix, don't replace. Contact SKC Construction now for commercial parking lot seal coating and maintenance. SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. GreatParkingLots.com.
When a tornado rips through Kansas, Dorothy Gale and her dog Toto are whisked away to the magical land of Oz. They follow the yellow brick road toward the Emerald City to meet the Wizard of Oz, a timeless classic now playing at the Palace Theater in the Wisconsin Dells. The Palace Theater is a marvelous time for the entire family and will build extraordinary memories year-round. Broadway musicals, theater classics, and special tribute artist performances dot the calendar. For more information, visit DellsPalace.com. Coming up at the Palace Theater, this is Tom Jones, The Tribute, August 31st and September 1st. Staying Alive, a Bee Gees tribute, one night only, Thursday, September 6th. And then it's John Denver tribute artist Ted Vigil, September 6th, 7th, and 8th. It's the Palace Theater Concert Series in the Wisconsin Dells. For more information, visit DellsPalace.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. It's the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
16 million people suffer from depression in this country. 6 million of them have drug-resistant depression, which means they do not find any relief. Hi, my name is Ben Klein, and I know this very well, as my oldest daughter suffers from depression, and she did not find any relief from the drugs. We found TMS therapy, and we got her the treatment, and it completely changed her life. If you're one of those 6 million people who suffer from drug-resistant depression, contact us. It can change your life too.
HPR centers in Chicagoland and Milwaukee offer TMS therapy. In just a few weeks, you can change your life. And it's FDA cleared. It's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and Medicare. In a natural way, you can make real progress in the battle with depression. Cure or remission. Get a free consultation. 800-604-0208. 800-604-0208. HPR Centers. Go to endmydepression.com. End your depression.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We told you about the grandma in Houston who shot the masturbating cyclist yesterday.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is he dead?
He's not. He's expected to survive. And Gene Wilson.
I hope he put some pants on.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see that.
And perhaps you should stop trying to break into people's homes as well. Gene Wilson is the grandma in question, and she explained to a local television station what happened.
Gene Wilson remembers every moment from start to finish.
Pants gapped open, and it just playing with itself, you know.
Sure.
And I said, get away from me, get away from me. I said, leave my house. Don't come up to my door. And that's where he stepped at. That's the last place he stepped. I said, you pull my...
Those are his footsteps,
yes,
right
ma'am.
there.
I said, you reach for my door, I'm going to shoot you.
And
A masturbating bicycle burglar.
yeah, he really had his hands full.
Ew.
Thank you very much.
Did she shoot him in the naughty bits?
She did not stomach. She aimed a little high.
Oh.
You know,
So get that away from me. Bam, bam.
you touch that door handle, I'm going to shoot you.
And he touched the door handle.
And she kept her word. But there's a reason, too. I mean, it's not all fun and games here. This is
this is very serious.
Well, it's an elderly woman defending herself. Also, kids in the home.
Oh.
And that's what she was afraid of, she explained.
He could have hurt my kids. And that's all I got.
Her kids are her disabled grandson she cares for, her 11-year-old great-granddaughter who was inside. Johnson survived. He remains hospitalized from the bullet wound to his stomach. Wilson protected her family, but she takes no pleasure in what happened. She's grateful that her family is safe and that no one died, including the man she says she was forced to shoot.
And thank you, Jesus. Thank you.
Well, it was a funny story. No, it's really
Exactly. Now, aren't you upset that you were laughing at her?
No, I mean, she's taking care of a disabled grandchild.
Grandson and 11-year-old great-grandchild. Wow. Interesting. She takes no pleasure in it. But, of course, the cyclist was taking pleasure in it right up until he got shot. Good.
Good for her. So she doesn't want to be called a hero. She just wants to move on.
Well, and she's happy everybody's safe, even the assailant.
What's his name?
Good grandma with a gun.
There you go.
Good grandma with a gun. We're going to talk a little bit about that with John Lott. Not about shooting masturbating cyclists specifically.
Masturbating.
But we're not going to exclude
burglar.
that because it just interestingly, so thinking about this story and so many like it, Wall Street Journal spread front page yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
The new litmus test for Democrats, gun control.
Oh.
You got to be on board with the gun banners in addition to all of the other agenda points of the Democrat Socialists if you want to be ascendant in the 21st century Democrat Socialist Party. So just interesting, and we'll get John Lott's take. But good for Grandma Jean, and a message to all you masturbating cyclists / burglars.
It's really hurting, by the way, 2 Democrat candidates in Minnesota. In fact, a leading candidate who's also the Attorney General, Lori Swanson, who has a grade from the NRA, and it is really hurting her ahead of the primary next week in Minnesota. As you mentioned, people are attacking her because she actually has a rating from the NRA, not necessarily an endorsement, but it's really dragging her down in the polls right now.
I mean, you can participate in an Islamic radicalization compound where you're training child killers. That's fine.
Yeah,
But I mean, defending yourself from an assailant in your home. Hey. You know, being a gun owner, a law-abiding gun owner, especially in Minnesota, being a sportsman or sportswoman. Yeah. Oh, no, that's a bridge too far. Okay.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Are you worried at all that Trump's personality will do what Obama's policy choices did, turn majorities into minorities at 5:38?
And let the games begin. 2 Miami Dolphins players take a knee during the national anthem. We're waiting for Trump's response. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
71, and as Amy told you early on this morning, rather stuffy out there, very hot and humid start to your Friday. Jury selection begins today in the trial of 2 reputed gang members charged in the deadly shooting of Chicago teen Hadia Pendleton. Michael Ward and Kenneth Williams today will face murder charges in the teen's death. Pendleton was gunned down in 2013. An airstrike in northern Yemen has killed dozens of children. Children reportedly on a field trip when the airstrike was carried out by the Saudi Arabian-led coalition that struck their bus in a busy market. Northern California's Carr Fire is the state's deadliest, and it has killed again. CAL FIRE says a heavy equipment operator was killed yesterday in a crash fighting that massive blaze in Northern California near Redding. The Army is rebooting a program this morning. It gave immigrant recruits citizenship. The program was suspended in the summer of 2016, and the fate of about 1,100 recruits who signed contracts was in limbo. The man who owns a remote New Mexico property says he called police long before authorities raided a makeshift compound and discovered the body of a missing boy. Jason Badger says he warned authorities in May that Siraj Wahaj and his son were on that property. A federal judge is outraged at the Trump administration for deporting 2 asylum seekers fighting to stay in the U.S. At a hearing yesterday, it was revealed that the Trump administration had the pair on a plane back to their native El Salvador, even though the Justice Department had agreed to delay their deportation. Chicago police will be cracking down on large, unsanctioned parties in an effort to prevent gun violence this weekend.
We have to look at what they're doing, such as drinking, amplified music, smoking weed, those types of things, littering. All of those things will factor into how we gauge it.
Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson announcing the strategy yesterday. Meantime, Governor Bruce Rauner says Chicago's mayor has failed to stop the violence. Rauner yesterday blaming Mayor Rahm Emanuel for a spike in shootings in the city. Family and friends remembering last night the Chicago teen struck and killed by a Metra train last weekend. A vigil and balloon release was held last night at Lane Tech High School on the north side to honor rising senior Sincere Ash. The 17-year-old died Sunday, struck by a train in the Lincoln Park neighborhood. That former rock and roll McDonald's in Chicago's River North neighborhood is reopening, has a brand new look. The fast food joint at Clark in Ontario featuring now service at your table. And tables are equipped with cell phone chargers and plenty of outdoor eating space at the Mickey D's as well. And McDonald's says they need 50 more employees at the new look eatery. The Bears' starting offense didn't click at all, but the rest of the team played pretty well. But the Bears lost to the Bengals 30-27. Cubs and Nationals open up a 3-game series this afternoon at Wrigley, while the White Sox begin a 3-game series with the Indians tonight. The news service of Mothers Against Drunk Driving for victims of drunk and drug driving. Their grief is unique, but you are not alone. MADD is here to help. Call their 24-hour victim helpline, 877-MADD-HELP, or madd.org. 534, and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher wants an end to the Russia investigation.
Asking about the Mueller investigation, he wants it over with. Rudy Giuliani was quoted as saying that the president's attitude is enough already. Somebody asked Giuliani, a reporter, is he going to fire Mueller? No, he doesn't want to fire Mueller. He wants it to be over with. Get it over with. There's no collusion. Give it up.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897.
Hey, if you're missing teeth or even a single tooth, then dental implants are a fantastic way to regain your confidence, your smile, and your dental health. Hey, Sean Hannity here, so what are you waiting for? Find out now if implants are for you. Successful implants don't come from an implant factory. Skill, treatment, installation, those are the main differences for successful lifelong implants. That's why you need to see Dr. Neruzzi at Fox River Periodontics. Dr. Neruzzi is the recommended choice of dentists that don't do implants themselves. You need the experience, the skill, and honesty that over 25 years of dental implants brings, and you're going to be happy with your implant. It's not a mass production procedure because everyone is different. And Dr. Neruzzi wants to talk to you about dental implants today.
This is Dr. Neruzzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants.
Call Fox River Periodontics at 630-232-7400. They're online at implantsforme.com.
536. Just get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Very latest now with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Watching the inbound Edens at Willow Road. There's a crash there. It's actually just off the expressway, though. It's on the frontage road. A rollover collision there near Willow. Off the Edens on the frontage roads. The Edens itself is wide open. and we're not seeing any effect. Traffic's still pretty light, so there's not even a Gabriel's delay in that area. Kennedy is clear. The Eisenhower still looks good. Inbound Stevenson, little tight Cicero to Pulaski. You've got maybe a 1-minute delay. Inbound Ryan, it's a 2-minute delay from 18th into the Burns Circle downtown. There's road work outbound at 87th of the 3 right lanes. Ship Ford inbound, 2-minute delay, Cottage Grove to the merge. There's road work on the Veterans Memorial Tollway, but we're not seeing any tollway delays at the moment. Traffic, it's the service of Ashley Home Store. Ashley Home Store's semi-annual sale and clearance is here. Come in today and save up to $350 on stylish dining tables, or up to $450 on plush sofas. This offer is only for a limited time. Hurry in today, Ashley Home Store. This is home. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, partly sunny today, seasonably warm with a high near 84. Currently 71. Your next news update is at 6, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
Hey, Joe Walsh here. Look, we've just got 2 different ideas about what America is. We'll talk about that when Freedom returns at 5.
Dan and Amy, we were talking about the big story. Houston great-grandmother shoots masturbating cyclist. He's a repeat felon, by the way.
What's his last name, or what's his first name? Because I want to see his mugshot.
His first name is Clarence. I think Tony from Palos Heights has a handle on his last name. Tony, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. I just thought it was interesting that his last name is Johnson.
Why is that interesting?
And if I were to guess, I thought his first name might be Richard.
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
Thanks for the call, Tony. Appreciate that.
I see what you did there.
There's a...
He's 38 years old, and he went into surgery yesterday. He's going to be okay.
To have his hand removed from his last name.
One time he was arrested for running around naked around another nearby town. Mm-hmm.
He's not the most subtle of criminals, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to break in. You should really... You shouldn't have your attention divided, is my point.
Yeah. Okay. He's a nudist. I mean, that's what he is. He runs around naked.
All right.
Okay.
Well, he ran into the wrong great-grandma this week in Houston. So good for her. All right. On to more heady matters.
Oh, Dan. I see what you did there.
Thank you very much. New Pew research on... That's not intended to be a pun.
Something else.
No. A survey done by Pew Research, 3,000 voters took part in a panel asking them about the 2016 election and where they are now in 2018, their feelings about Trump. The predicate question here being, are you as enthusiastic about Trump as you were when you voted for him in 2016? To try and get a read, are you going to be enthusiastic enough to come out and support those Trump needs on the Hill, i.e. members of Congress, in November? Are you still with Trump, and you understand that if you want to stay with him and you want him to succeed and you want him to continue doing what he's doing, it's more likely he'll be able to do that with Republican majorities than Democrats in charge, clearly. So they researchers asked the participants to rate their feelings about Trump on a 0 to 100 scale. About 6 in 10 of those who voted for Trump in 2016, the enthusiasts, they're called, had warm feelings toward him all along, going back to the primaries in the spring, and continue to feel warmly toward him. So is the Trump coalition sticking together? Can they be motivated and deployed in November for members of Congress or candidates for Congress? Another group making up just over 2 in 10 Trump voters were the converts. They were chilly toward Trump during the primaries, but warm to him once he became the nominee and have remained warm ever since. Okay, so the 8 in 10 Trump voters are holding, essentially. But then there's a couple of problem areas. And remember, yes, these are marginal, but in close races, which a lot of swing races are expected to be, the margins matter. About 1 in 8 people who voted for Trump in 2016 fall into the category of skeptics. That's the label given. They had chilly feelings toward Trump during the primaries, warm to him during the general election, not Hillary, Supreme Court nominees, whatever was the motivating factor to get over their concerns, but have soured on him again. On average, they currently rate their feelings toward him at a 33 out of 100. So that's pretty chilly.
That is.
And then a final smaller group, the disillusioned, had warm feelings toward Trump during the primaries and through the election, but have turned cold since he became president. They make up about 6% of Trump voters. Now you're never going to keep 100% of people who voted for you together. The question is, can you pull some people in who didn't vote for you, and can you keep a majority of your coalition together so that they can, provide the vice on the other politicos to help you move your agenda. But the problem is Clinton voters, 88% gave Trump ratings in the very cold range. It's actually grown since the election. So it doesn't seem to be a lot of converts from Clinton voters. And there's a little bit of attrition among Trump voters, about 1 in 5. And, that could spell trouble, and it could spell trouble particularly in the suburbs and suburban races. And this is where Democrats are looking, particularly in states that are perceived to be blue, including Illinois. They're looking at suburban Republicans as the path to majority in the House. So, but where do you fall on this Pew scale, these categories they've set up, the enthusiasts, the converts, the skeptics, or the disillusioned? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
And let's start with you, Daniel Proft.
Well, I guess I would be a convert because I was certainly chilly toward Trump in the primary. I started out supporting Walker, then I went to Cruz when it came down to Cruz and Trump. But when it came to the general, Trump versus Hillary, no brainer.
Right.
Not a close call.
I mean, have we just gotten used to the odd behavior?
Well, I mean, sort of. To some extent, used to is he's the same guy he's been in the public eye for the last 25 years.
Right.
So it's not like he was an unknown quantity, and certainly you had your fill of who he was on the campaign trail.
Yeah.
So you can't feign surprise. In fact, not only am I a convert, I would say I'm in the pleasantly surprised category, generally speaking, right now, because I think he's actually been better than I thought he would be. I think part of that is the Democrats have moved so far hard left. They're so hysterical. They're so unhinged. They're so over the top. And I don't appreciate weaponizing the intelligence community against a particular president, against the American people's decision in that election, the way that has been manipulated. So that pushes me more into Trump camp. Now, I've got disagreements that have been aired on this show on trade policy and some of his neo-mercantilist tendencies, but I'm pleasantly surprised by his performance as president so far. So I'm sticking with the policy agenda, and that motivates me to try and help as much as I can in this state with suburban races where Democrats could end up, the suburban races that could tip the scale for Democrats, like Roscoe and Hultgren, for example.
Ugh. Well, I'm definitely a convert because I thought at first when he made that comment about blood coming out of different places with Megyn Kelly calling Rosie O'Donnell, what do you call her, pig? And then the comment he made of John McCain, I just thought there's no way he's ever going to win. And I was completely wrong. But also, too, I didn't think wearing a suit in the state of Iowa was going to be a good thing. He's got to dress down. But he never strayed from who he is. He is a New York businessman. And he didn't do what other politicians do, like throw on an Iowa Hawkeye jersey or a Cyclone sweatshirt to try and get the votes. He didn't pander like that.
Yeah, instead
he stuck to who he was, and he didn't. And we knew about his infidelities and his marriages. We've known that for 25 years.
But the question is, do you worry that his personality
is going to affect.
Again, will do to majorities what Obama's policy choices did, magically turn them into minorities or super minorities. Remember, Obama turned the Democrat Party in this country into a super minority party, even though he was personally popular. And the concern is Trump remains personally popular among his base and among Republicans, but is he turning off enough that you don't have the necessary enthusiasm to generate the necessary turnout to hold the line down ballot? That matters.
So because of Trump's personality, you think there'll be a midterm blue wave in the House?
Blue wave, I'm not sold on the blue wave. I think it'll be uneven. I think in places, perhaps Illinois, it could be more pronounced than in a lot of other states where Democrats are counting on big pickups.
And Republicans can only afford to lose 22 seats.
Right, 23 is the magic number.
All right.
That's right. And I think, I still think it's about a 50-50 proposition, but I will tell you, going back to Ohio 12 this week, that Central Ohio district that...
They still haven't called it,
Well,
right?
they can't even count the provisional ballots for 10 days. So,
okay.
this...
And those two are going to meet again in November, aren't
Yeah,
they?
that's right.
So don't put your campaign signs away just yet.
No, that's right.
Just keep them on the lawn.
Well, Troy Balderson, so he won that race narrowly. But the issue is this. If you looked at that district, Sean Trendy had a good analysis of this at Real Clear Politics. So in the rural areas, the numbers sort of held to traditional norms, including what the president did, what Trump did in that district, and he won that district by 10 points. But in the suburbs, there was significant attrition, where Republicans historically were over 50% in the suburban part of that Central Ohio district. Balderson was at 35. Now, the candidates matter, the matchups matter, and this O'Connor, who ran against Balderson, was not Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. He presented himself as a moderate Democrat, and he was apparently, from the coverage, a pretty attractive candidate and pretty good on his feet and raised a lot of money and all those things. Obviously, money pouring in from all over the nation because of the importance of that race as a bellwether. So that there's a whole lot of variables here that don't necessarily translate to every one of these other 4 or 5 dozen target races. But that suburban issue, suburban turnout and suburban share for Republicans is an issue. And I'm seeing it manifest itself in Illinois right now as well, in Chicago Metro. Pete in Montgomery, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy.
Morning.
So I've always held that these nationwide polls to try to help determine local congressional races to be a little bit disingenuous.
Well, they're not helped.
No matter who.
Whoa. This is not. This is on Trump. This national poll. Now it's interpreting it with respect to local races where you get into the back and forth. But just understand, this is about where the Trump coalition is with Trump at present.
Right, and that doesn't have anything to do with how I feel about Peter Roskam or his opponents.
Okay.
And that's where I've always found this to be a little bit off. The congressional races, senatorial races, they're generally speaking local, and that's why you can have a Republican Congress that has a 17% approval rating, yet the people in those individuals in Congress continuously get reelected, to career lifetime positions that they should never have had in the first place.
Well, Pete, that's right, Pete, but that works both ways. So, for example, people who voted for Obama in 2008 voted for congressional Republicans in 2010. Otherwise, they wouldn't have taken the House, and they did the same thing in 2014 after voting for Obama in 2012. Otherwise, Republicans wouldn't have taken the Senate. But that works in reverse, too. Trump voters, maybe recent converts to voting for Republicans, think blue-collar union types, maybe they voted for Trump in 2016, but they have no intention of voting for Peter Roskam or Randy Hultgren, just as an example. So I understand what you're saying, and you certainly represent a perspective that is not unique among the electorate, but there are other perspectives on the margins that matter in close races, and so it is sort of interesting to see where people are at who were with Trump in 2016. Are they going to be motivated enough, stay motivated enough, and connect enough dots to get out for, just to continue this example, Roskam to help Republicans hold Congress to help advance Trump's agenda for the last 2 years of his first term?
Well, the other thing that you can look at is anybody who listens to this radio station or similar radio stations is going to get out and vote, period, regardless of who the candidate is or what their position is, because they're active and motivated, if not activists.
Yeah, that's true. Thanks for the call, Pete. Tom in Deer Park.
Oh, hi, good morning. Concerning the national election, you've got a Democrat Party that's moving harder left every day. It's not just enough to be pro-choice, but you have to be pro-abortion. And like you mentioned earlier, the stripping of gun rights. And anyone that even has a notion that they want to allow someone to have a gun if they don't, that makes you bad. And then, of course, economic policy moving towards socialism. But as in 2016, I voted third party, and Donald Trump has done some good things policy-wise, but nothing he's done has changed my opinion of him. It's only reinforced it. So I'd be voting third party again in 2020. And then our district here, we're voting for Peter Roskam. So that's kind of two different things.
Okay. All right. Thanks for the call, Tom.
And get your friends to get out to vote for Peter Roskam.
Well, and there's a lot more of that going on, particularly in places like Illinois, where both parties have destroyed any equity that existed in their brand. So you could see why people will, hey, I'm going to vote for third party, but I like Roskam or whoever, and so I'll vote based on the individual in the specific race. Ralph in Pharr, Texas. Hey, Ralph.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, sir.
You want to turn your radio down?
I like the sound of my own.
Yeah, let me move away because I was looking at the radio and you came out and answered. And I wasn't sure what was going on.
We surprised you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. No, I'm looking at the, the voter turnout is very fluid. It can change from day to day. And, for example, the governor's meeting that Donald Trump had yesterday, it was an excellent meeting. Very professional. He looked like he had the executive look and behavior. He came across as a good businessman.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone did well in that meeting, except when the meeting was over and the press was allowed to speak. All they did is just bash Trump on everything outside what they talked about. Same old stuff. So, the media is beginning to look like the enemy of the people. Instead of asking intelligent questions, they ask stupid questions, time after time after time, just to belittle the president.
All right, so you're sticking with Trump and down ballot to support candidates that support Trump.
As long as he's doing a good job, I support him.
All right, thanks for the call, Ralph. Appreciate it. Coming up, 2020, A Space Odyssey. We'll talk to Colonel Cedric Layton at 6:06.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
On AM 560, The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
Sometimes when it rains, it pours right into your basement. This is Gus from Chicagoland Waterproofing. My mission is to identify why your home is taking on water and fix it. I want you to sleep at night during a rainstorm and not worry about your basement filling up with water. Like our client Kim from Mount Prospect.
We had chronic basement flooding and no one could figure out why. During a huge storm, water was pouring in through the window wells of our finished basement and we had to bail out 6 inches of water. We got a bunch of estimates, but Gus's was the most reasonable, plus he knew exactly what the problem was. He put in a full basement drain tile system and an additional sub pump with a backup battery. Chicagoland Waterproofing gave us peace of mind. I like to say, in Gus we trust.
From simple sump pumps to complex storm drainage and crack foundation solutions, Chicagoland Waterproofing's work comes with a lifetime warranty. Plus, a fully licensed plumber is always on staff. Request your estimate today at ChicagolandWaterproofingPros.com or call 847-296-3500.
Live from Chicago, it's Saturday Night Live, The Experience. For the first time ever, get an inside look at the making of SNL. Over 500 artifacts direct from the show. Be a part of Wayne's World, Weekend Update, and so much more. Experience all it takes to put the show together. Now at the Museum of Broadcast Communications at 360 North State Street in Chicago. For tickets, visit museum.tv.
5:57. Let's get an update on the morning ride to work in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The Edens Expressway is looking good at this hour. No delays to report yet on the Kennedy. It's getting a little heavy around 190. On the inbound Eisenhower, do have slow pockets. First, it's heavy around Manheim to Des Plaines Avenue, and then from Demon to the Burn Circle. 33 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 5 at 29. On Stevenson, 42 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 35. Ryan, delays start at 35th. At 31st in the Express, it's 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57 good. Bishop Ford, 2-minute delay, Cottage Grove to the Rhine. On Tri-State, a little heavy between the Reagan Tollway and the Eisenhower. Overnight work is clearing on the Veterans Memorial. No problems to report on I-80 or Northwest Indiana. Traffic service of Unbound.org. More peaceful, healthy world happens one person at a time. You can know the person you're helping directly at Unbound.org. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues after a full update from Fox News and your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, partly sunny and seasonably warm, high 84. Partly cloudy night, low 67. Tomorrow, sunshine mixing with some clouds, high 86. Mainly clear tomorrow night, low 69. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
71 at O'Hare. The news this hour is a service of Ashley Home Stores. Ashley Home Stores semi-annual sale and clearance is here. Right now, get an Ashley Sleep Queen Power Set for only $9.97. This offer is only for limited time, so hurry in while supplies last. Shop and save today at Ashley Home Store. This is home. 5:59. Here are the stories we are following on AM 560 The Answer. Jury selection begins today in the trial of 2 reputed gang members charged in the deadly shooting of Chicago teen Hadia Pendleton in 2013. Chicago police this weekend will be cracking down on large unsanctioned street parties in an effort to prevent gun violence. A wanted sex offender from Texas could be headed for the Chicago area. David Saucedo Medina is on Texas's list of the 10 most wanted sex offenders. Bears fell to the Bengals in the NFL preseason, 30-27. Cubs and Nationals open a 3-game set, and the Sox are on the south side against the Indians. WIND Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
Turn the plane around. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. A federal judge ordered that, and a mother and daughter who had just been deported are back in the U.S. this morning. Fox's Rachel Sutherland, live in Washington.
Dave, U.S. District Judge Emmett Sullivan threatened to hold Attorney General Jeff Sessions in contempt if the mother and daughter were not returned to the United States right away. The two were deported in the middle of appealing their removal. The mother is a plaintiff in an ACLU lawsuit filed over immigrants seeking asylum due to domestic and gang violence in their home countries. The Homeland Security Department told Fox News that upon arrival in El Salvador, the woman and her child did not disembark and were promptly returned to the United States. Dave.
Rachel, President Trump's in-laws are now Americans. First Lady Melania's parents were sworn in yesterday as naturalized citizens. Trump critics point out they came here under her sponsorship and have been living as legal permanent residents, a chain migration process the president's trying to end. There's a lot of wildfire worry east of L.A.
We've never been through this, and we just kind of been here. We're not leaving, and hopefully keep our house
Sandy.
But about 20,000 others are under evacuation orders in Orange and Riverside counties. That fire's barely contained. It's burned 10,000 acres. The too close to call primary race for governor is getting tense in Kansas as Chris Kobach's lead over his fellow Republican incumbent is down to 121 votes.
Governor Jeff Collier says his GOP opponent Chris Kobach could be unduly influencing the process and should stop advising election officials. As Kansas Secretary of State, part of Kobach's role is to oversee the voting process. Collier is leery about any access Kobach might have to individual ballots that are mailed in.
That's Fox's Gernal Scott. No reaction from President Trump yet, but there were 2 more kneelers during the national anthem last night during an NFL preseason game. 2 players for the Dolphins took a knee. This is Fox News. Fair and balanced.
President Trump creating some Russia investigation news of his own this week when he...
You can talk about the weather, but the weather didn't pull the trigger.
If the Democrats get in, they're going to raise your taxes. You're going to have crime all over the place. You're going to have people pouring across the border.
We all still share the same objective of making sure that Iran doesn't get deliverable nuclear weapons.
What happens next?
That's a beauty.
Happens here. This is AM 560. The Answer.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event. And now, while selection is best, it's the best time to buy. With amazing offers across a full lineup of Ford vehicles, now is the time to make summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. Stop by a local Ford store or shop online at buyfordnow.com because there is no better time than right now to get behind the wheel of a new Ford during the Ford Summer Sales Event. The Ford Summer Sales Event is here. Right now, get 0% APR financing for 72 months plus $1,000 Ford credit bonus cash on a great lineup of Ford SUVs. Best-selling claim based on 2017 calendar year sales. Not all buyers qualify for Ford credit financing. 72 months at $1,389 per month for $1,000 finance regardless of down payment. Not available on Expedition. For all offers, take new retail delivery from authorized Ford dealer stock by 8/31/18. See dealer or go to buyfordnow.com for qualifications and details.
If you're a company looking to grow your technical team and hire new exceptional candidates, turn to Monarch Technical Services. They've been leading the Chicago staffing industry for manufacturing and engineering since 1987. Monarch recruits top talent for your company by verifying skill sets using blueprint, shop math, part measurement, and CNC program exams. Their experienced skill assessment officers were once machinists themselves. That provides Monarch Technical Services the unique ability to determine specific skill sets among candidates. Monarch takes pride in every candidate they represent. Their vetting process and customer service is the best in Chicagoland. If you're a business growing your technical team and searching for exceptional talent, contact Monarch Technical Services at 847-342-1221 or online at monarchtechnical.com. And if you're interested in starting a career in manufacturing or have experience, you can also call 847-342-1221 or upload your resume at monarchtechnical.com. That's monarchtechnical.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology actively invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you, the needle in the haystack.
Try ZipRecruiter now for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
What happened? You used to go hours without visiting the bathroom. Now it seems like you're constantly getting up to pee. Listen, the makers of Super Beta Prostate are introducing a new wonder pill, Super Beta Prostate P3 Advanced, with 3 key ingredients that are great for your prostate. To celebrate, your first 30-day supply is free. Pay shipping and handling. Get P3 Advanced free. Call 1-800-215-9360. 1-800-215-9360. 1-800-215-9360.
Highland Park Ford Lincoln's in the house. Here's Alan Marty.
For 30 years, we've been making people happy with incredible deals and service.
We're the best Ford Lincoln dealers in town.
Because making people happy makes us happy.
No doubt. This is one happy place.
Heck, we just break into dance all the time.
We don't break into dance at the dealership.
Sure we do.
No, we really don't.
We could. Come on, Marty, dance with me.
The Highland Park Ford Lincoln Superstore. Call 1-800-984-9000 or go to alanmarty.com.
Admit it.
Okay, you're a lovely dancer.
Thank you. This is Alan Marty. Deal with us.
Millwright work is often technical and requires a high degree of precision. The pros at Vans Industrial are skilled mechanics that can perform any type of millwright work, including installation and maintenance of your factory equipment and machinery. For your machine repair needs, look no further than Vans Industrial.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Vans Industrial is an industrial millwright contractor that can install new mechanical systems or repair existing systems. Our services include repair of bearings, shafts, shiv alignments, as well as installation of conveyors and bucket elevators. Our team of trained mechanics will respond to your emergency calls 24/7, keeping your systems operational. We're here to help you.
Call 833-VANS-IND for a free inspection of your facility. That's 833-VANS-IND. Interested in what else they do? Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS Industrial.com. Quality craftsmanship since 1964. This hourly segment is brought to you by Retirement Zone Radio and the North Shore Capital Group, empowering you Saturday afternoons at 4.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
It's the final frontier, as you know, Amy. We're talking about 2020, A Space Force Odyssey.
Spaceballs.
I
can't stop thinking of Mel Brooks's Spaceballs.
It's a classic, too. We've got a lot of drops to get through.
I know. I don't know if we have time.
I appreciate
we might have to bleed into Mike Gallagher's show.
Vice President Pence and Defense Secretary Mattis revisiting the United States Space Command, the projected sixth branch of the military.
Is that going to be their theme song, that Trekkie song you just played?
I think they'll have to buy the rights to that. I don't think they can just appropriate it.
Sixth branch of the military, wow.
You got to have fun with it because it is sort of...
Well, it's an eye-rolling concept. Like, oh, we really need this? But then if you think about the bigger picture, we want to get to space and claim the space before Russia and China, right?
We have been in space. Sheila Jackson Lee.
No, I know.
Yeah. I could walk you through the history. Right.
I'm familiar.
Well, James Mattis, the Defense Secretary, General Mattis, he was a skeptic about this at first, but not yesterday. Here's what he had to say. He's not kidding around.
Space is one of our vital national interests in the sense of our use of space, our operations in space, and it is becoming a contested warfighting domain, and we have got to adapt to that reality. It's on par with the air, land, sea, and cyberspace domains in terms of it being contested, and it's now a domain in which we must be equally prepared as all of those other domains. It's no longer a new domain, it's a domain. And we've got to be able to compete, to deter, and to win.
Yeah.
Baseball.
So he's not joking around.
No.
He went on to take some questions from the audience, at which point he said this.
Having received all your letters over the years, and I've spoken to many of you, and some of you have traveled, hundreds of miles to be here, I'd just like to say, get a life, will you, people?
That's good.
For more on this topic, and we'll get to more of our drops because we're juvenile, but there's some serious matters related to this that apparently need to be discussed, so we brought a serious person on to do that. He is Colonel Cedric Leighton, CNN military analyst and security consultant who has served both on the Joint Chiefs of Staff as well as the National Security Council. Colonel Leighton, thanks for being with us again. Appreciate it.
Hey, you bet, Dan. Good morning.
Good morning. So did you retweet President Trump's tweet, Space Force all the way, exclamation point?
I did not this morning.
All right. What's your assessment of what was proposed yesterday in the request for $8 billion over the next 5 years to develop the United States Space Command?
So as far as the United States Space Command is concerned, that actually makes sense. And the reason for that is we actually had a United States Space Command that existed from 1985 to 2002. When it was disbanded, and most of the functions within that were placed in the already existing Air Force component, which was the Air Force Space Command, and that continues to exist today. So that's different from actually having a separate Space Force. So what they're first going to do is they're going to have U.S. Space Command, which is a unified command, kind of like the European Command, Indo-Pacific Command, Special Operations Command, and then they will develop this somewhat incrementally into a Space Force, which will be a separate military service. That part is really not the necessary thing to do. What we really have to worry about is making sure that we continue to maintain what most people in the DoD and the president would call space dominance, and that's really the essential goal in this particular case.
Oh, is it really a race to get a space program going before Russia and China, or do they already have one?
They already have one, Amy, and the reason this becomes important is because back in 2007, the Chinese actually blew up one of their satellites, and they did that using another satellite that had a weapon on it that could actually destroy satellites. The Chinese were sending a signal that they have the capability to destroy satellites. So this time they did they destroyed a satellite that was an old weather satellite that was no longer functional. But the signal was pretty clear. They could destroy anything out there if they weren't prevented from doing so.
What are the other priorities, national security concerns? Satellites is an obvious one. Building a Mar-a-Lago on the red planet, I get that. What else? What else should we be focused on, or what else is part of thinking about America's interest in space?
So besides the Mar-a-Lago on the red planet, what you're really looking at is common everyday things like GPS. GPS is based completely on space satellites being up there, providing us with directional information, and now it's become so common that we have that in our phones, in our cars. We use it for medical information, banking information. Basically, the entire internet is now dependent on space. So that's the primary concern, is that if we lost control of space, or our assets in space were damaged or taken out, then we would lose the kind of life that we have right now, and we would be reverting back to the 1940s or 1950s. That really is the primary concern, and it could have significant impact on everything from banking to agriculture, all of the things that we're looking at, including weather forecasting. Weather forecasting would no longer be as precise as it is, although we all complain about how imprecise weather forecasting is. It would be far worse if we didn't have the satellites that we use right now.
So will this diminish the role that the Air Force plays by any chance?
It will, absolutely. The Air Force has as one of its core missions space, and in fact, they call themselves America's Aerospace Force, and a substantial portion of what the Air Force actually does is the managing and controlling of satellites. They also monitor other people's satellites and other people's systems in space. So that particular aspect of it, and the fact that they support the intelligence agencies with that kind of expertise, that would go away, presumably, under not only the U.S. Space Command, but also the future U.S. Space Force. And that, is a roles and missions kind of question, as we call it in the military, and that could impact on our effectiveness and potentially add an extra layer of bureaucracy where we don't really need that.
So what form does the Space Force take? These are.
It's funny you saying.
Well, I mean, I think
because they're working on logos right now. You should see the choices.
Well, I'm thinking, Edward James Olmos on Battlestar Galactica is what I'm thinking.
I'm thinking of him every day of
I
my
know
life.
you do for different reasons. Is it gonna be drones? Are we gonna be AI operating spacecraft?
So, yeah, it could potentially be AI, artificial intelligence operating spacecraft. That is absolutely a possibility, but it would, presumably at least be controlled by people handling, the orbits of different space systems. That would be in U.S. Space Command and eventually in the Space Force. So those are the kinds of things that they could do. In essence, what we're looking at is, kind of like, I guess the easiest example would be the Navy, because they protect what we call our sea lanes of communication. In essence, all the different trading routes around the world are protected or monitored by the United States Navy. This would do the same thing for the space above our Earth, and that would be, a considerable mission area, to say the least.
Do you think there'll be love stories that develop in space, like George Clooney and Sandra Bullock in Gravity, something like that? Is that possible? It could happen.
It's probably already happened on the International Space Station, except we don't know about it yet. At least I don't know about it yet.
Little space station baby. All right, so the Army has its star. The Marines have a globe and anchor. What do you think the Space Force logo is going to look like?
Well, I'm thinking there's going to be something extraterrestrial about it. I'm not sure exactly what it will, if it will look something like what they're proposing as part of the president's reelection campaign. But it could, include, some type of, rocket ship lunging toward the heavens. I'm not sure exactly.
How about
I'm expecting.
How about like a lighted finger? E.T.
Well, that could be very symbolic. Going all the way back to the Renaissance. So it could be. There could be all kinds of possibilities there. I think it could keep a lot of imaginations going this morning.
Do you think we'll be able to find the home planet of the Green Party candidate in Ohio 12 who came from a distant planet to run for Congress? Is that a possibility?
Well, it's all things are possible, so I wouldn't discount that. But
that is the final frontier. Yeah, that's a question about it.
When you have these kinds of possibilities, there may be all kinds of planets will come up for all kinds of different home planets for all kinds of different people. So you never know exactly where they would be.
I mentioned you're a CNN military analyst. Who asks dumber questions, me or Don Lemon?
Dan.
I have a great time with both of you.
Yes, okay. All right, very good. Very, very political. Colonel Cedric Leighton, he is a CNN military analyst, security consultant who has served us both on the Joint Chiefs of Staff as well as the National Security Council. Colonel Leighton, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
You bet, Dan. See you later, Amy.
Bye. Thank you. And he joined us on our Turnkey.Pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, President Trump's in-laws are now U.S. citizens. But first, here's your forecast. Partly sunny today. Warm. It's already humid out there. It's a high today of 84 degrees. Your weekend looks spectacular. Both Saturday and Sunday, we're going to have sun and clouds. Highs in the mid to upper 80s. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, the one, the only, Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Amy. Good morning. Good morning, Dan. The Edens looks pretty good at this hour. The eastbound spur is a little heavy from the Toll Plaza to Waukegan Road. That's the ongoing construction there. The Kennedy's fairly light, just a little heavy around 190 coming in. Between 190 and Cumberland, outbound a little heavy around Sayre, but at the moment there's no more than a 1 minute delay either way. About Eisenhower, still Manheim to Des Plaines Avenue and western to the Burns Circle, 34 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 29. Stevenson, 40 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 5 to 34. Ride's heavy with delays starting at 31st. There's a crash at Roosevelt in the left lane, 24 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57 clear, Bishop Ford just a little congested approaching the Rhine. Northbound Tri-State a little congested around 290. Do have a delay on southbound 53 now from the Adams Tollway to Woodfield Road. That's the ongoing construction there. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
When you need bug bite relief.
Ow! Ow! What? Ow! Yikes!
Stepped in an ant bed relief.
What a pretty plant. Wait, is that...
Poison ivy relief. You need the power of Gold Bond Relief. Gold Bond Rapid Relief Cream has twice the medicines of hydrocortisone formulas to fight itch and relieve minor pain. Plus, vitamin E and aloe to help soothe skin fast. Gold Bond Relief starts now. Use as directed.
If you wear a denture, are you sure your breath is clean and fresh? Try Polident. It's specifically designed to clean a denture because it's tough on odor-causing bacteria, but gentle on the denture itself. Polident has a 4-in-1 cleaning system with 4 powerful ingredients that work together to deep clean your denture. It kills 99.99% of odor-causing bacteria in laboratory testing and helps to remove stains. Feel confident and clean every day with Polident. Available at Walmart for a low price every day.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that use Balance of Nature as well.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. I take Balance of Nature because I know, I've seen it in my lab, and I know that it works. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. And that, to me, as a scientist, rings so true.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Your local 1-hour heating and air conditioning knows how miserable it feels when your AC goes out. You want it fixed fast, fixed right, and get a fast quote. Unlike some companies, we don't give you a quote until we actually see what the problem is. Then we'll give you our straightforward price and always stand by our work. Right now, get savings on any AC repair. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1-HOUR.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology actively invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you, the needle in the haystack.
Try ZipRecruiter now for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Your daughter's wedding is one of the proudest moments of your life, a moment you and your family will treasure for the rest of your lives. As the months of planning start to unfold and you get closer to the special day, things can get a bit hectic. So many important details. To capture these once-in-a-lifetime memories and not have to worry about anything but the celebration, trust Artland Photography for every precious moment. At Artland Photography, it's all about you. No matter what your style, their photographers have the skill and experience to capture the moments quickly and stay out of the way. They'll make it easy to enjoy all of the smiles, laughter, and tears to enjoy for generations. Visit them at artland.com, where you can see their amazing work and outstanding reviews for yourself. Plus, learn about a special limited-time offer. You'll know why Artland Photography has been Wedding Wire's couple's choice for the last 5 years. They also shoot everything from major corporate events to business and family portraits. Visit artland.com. It's all about you.
Are you buying or selling a business or starting a business? Maybe you have legal problems with a business partner or employees, or are just drowning in new regulations. You need the support of a law firm that concentrates in a wide range of business law and tax matters. You need the corporate team at Kelleher & Buckley. Whether you're a local mom and pop shop, middle market business, or a large corporation or franchise, they provide cost-effective legal solutions to help your businesses thrive. The lawyers of Kelleher & Buckley focus on targeted legal advice tailored to meet the specific needs of your business. You deserve competent legal representation from a law firm maintaining a high level of knowledge about the ever-changing laws governing businesses. One that also includes accountants and tax specialists on board to provide your business bottom-line solutions. Kelleher & Buckley, LLC of North Barrington and Chicago is a legal solution provider that also includes estate planning, asset protection, life insurance planning, and litigation. Keep your business on track. Call 847-382-9130 or online at kelleherbuckley.com.
The following is a paid political announcement.
President Trump knows that to keep America safe, we must secure our borders.
A strong nation must have strong borders.
But some liberals in Congress, like Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren, want to abolish immigration and customs enforcement altogether, making us weaker. Senator Joe Donnelly once pledged to oppose amnesty and secure our border, but instead, Donnelly voted to grant amnesty to millions of illegal immigrants. Senator Donnelly has also waffled on supporting Trump's border wall. He needs to listen to Hoosiers, not D.C. liberals like Elizabeth Warren. Call Senator Joe Donnelly at 202-224-4814. Urge him to fight for full border security funding in S3109, the Department of Homeland Security Appropriations Act 2019. Tell him, vote to fully secure America's border. Paid for by One Nation, www.onenationamerica.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Intergalactic love song. Is that Flock of Seagulls?
Yeah.
Space Age love song. Space Age. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Ready?
Nice. Nicely done.
And fly away.
Justin wants a space romance with his new girlfriend.
Yeah.
He had a date.
He did. We're going to be talking about it in the 7 o'clock hour.
He's all grown up now.
Where they met, how it went. Did he give her a goodnight kiss?
Remember when we used to take him to school?
I know.
And now look at him. Yeah.
He looks like he'd be a Flock of Seagulls fan.
We were talking about the United States Space Command.
Space Force.
Trying to keep a straight face. I mean, it is serious.
It is.
Protecting satellites and the like, but it's really the opportunity for us to do all our drops and make all of our juvenile jokes. Mike in Crown Point, Indiana, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, guys. If you go back 40, 50 years ago and look at the press clippings and news tape from back then, you'll see a lot of the same sarcasm, skepticism, and, poking fun at the space program back then. But think of the world, of the impact just indirectly of what that program had on the world. We went in 9 years, went from absolutely having no idea how to get to the moon to doing it. With the technology available today, the benefits that'll result technologically from that investment, I think, are well worth it. And also, Dan and Amy, I just wanted to say, so say we all.
Yeah, nicely done, Mike. Thanks for that, and I apologize to Neil Armstrong's family. Yeah, for
What about Spaceballs?
Prepare ship for light speed. No, light speed is too slow.
Light speed too slow?
Yes, we're gonna have to go right to ludicrous speed.
Ludicrous speed? Sir, we've never gone that fast before. I don't know if the ship can take us.
What's the matter, Colonel Sanders? Chicken?
No.
Get it?
Yeah, Mel Brooks. He's better than that. But that was,
It's
Rick Moranis' Dark
Spaceballs.
Helmet was pretty good. Yeah, maybe Mel Brooks still around, still
Oh,
sharp.
yeah, maybe he could be the colonel.
Could be the
Or the
head of the United
commander.
States Space Command.
You know what? I know this sounds weird, and this is a complete chick thing to say. I wonder what their uniforms are going to look like. All right? Okay, I said it.
They'd be like jumpsuits with the logo, I would think. But
what color? I mean, are they going to be psychedelic blue?
I don't know.
Women will get pink.
I mean,
maybe some bling bling and the shling.
I think though we should send Sheila Jackson Lee into space to sort of monitor, to be a one-woman oversight committee on the United States Space Command, and it would give her the opportunity to see the flag that we planted on Mars.
Oh, that's right.
When astronauts went to Mars, according to Sheila Jackson Lee. To see the Mars rover. She could see the Mars rover then. And the flag that Neil Armstrong put on Mars.
Oh, she's out to space. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Bruce Orr's handwritten note at 6:36.
And a school in Atlanta stopped saying the morning Pledge of Allegiance. We'll tell you why. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
72 degrees. Clouds over much of the area. Fair skies to the south and western suburbs, and a muggy and warm day ahead for us. Holy fire in California's Cleveland National Forest has burned through more than 10,000 acres. Governor Jerry Brown issuing a state of emergency last night for Orange and Riverside counties near L.A. as the fire remains just 5% contained. And the death toll is up in Northern California's massive car fire to 8. Kansas Secretary of State Chris Kobach says he will recuse himself from the vote tally process. The current frontrunner in the Republican primary for Kansas governor saying he would be happy to recuse himself from the count. It's very close. Jury selection begins today in the trial of 2 reputed gang members. charged in the deadly shooting of Chicago teen Hadia Pendleton in 2013. The shooting happened just a week after the teen performed during former President Obama's second inauguration. Chicago police will be cracking down on large unsanctioned street parties in an effort to try and prevent gun violence this upcoming weekend.
What they're doing, such as drinking, amplified music, smoking weed, those types of things, littering, all of those things will factor into how we gauge it.
Police department is also deploying hundreds of additional officers this weekend to the more violent districts on the south and west sides. President Donald Trump hitting Chicago political leadership hard over that spike in gun violence over last weekend.
That's bad stuff happening, and probably, I guess you have to take from the leadership. Let's go bad to leadership. There's no reason in a million years that something like that should be happening in Chicago.
The president has been critical in the past of city leaders over violent weekends. Meantime, Governor Bruce Rauner says Chicago's mayors failed to stop the violence in the city. Rauner yesterday blaming Mayor Rahm Emanuel for that shooting spike. Authorities have identified the man killed during a home invasion on Chicago's far south side. Police say 4 people broke into the homes of Demetrius Jones early yesterday near 97th and Harvard. Jones got into a physical altercation with one of the suspects, who then shot and killed him. The Indiana Attorney General has filed a federal court memorandum in the case of Marion County in that state, setting up early voting sites.
Our role in the case is not to block early satellite voting offices when they are authorized by the unanimous vote of the Marion County Election Board. Our role is to defend the application of Indiana statutes as written.
That's Solicitor General Thomas Fisher, who says the state simply making sure the courts don't decide how a county can determine the number of early voting sites in Indiana. The president of the Willow Creek Association apologizing for how allegations of sexual misconduct against Willow Creek Church founder Bill Hybels were handled. Speaking yesterday at the annual Global Leadership Summit at the church, Tom DeVries told a packed auditorium mistakes were made by not condemning Hybels' actions to a greater degree and more publicly. A lot of people are talking about that butter cow at the Illinois State Fair, but not because it's a beautiful sculpture. The artist who crafted the cow out of nearly 600 pounds of butter misspelled bicentennial on the cow's plaque. The double N was in the wrong place, but it has been fixed. Not only is today Friday, but in the newsroom we loosen our tie a bit to celebrate Duran Duran Appreciation Day. You might not have celebrated the occasion but today is your day to take note and appreciate all things Duran Duran. The new wave pop act got together in 1978 in Birmingham, England, and for a time was one of the most successful bands of the 1980s. So break out your white suit and sing Rio today as you appreciate Duran Duran. Chicago sports. Bears did not play well offensively. First teamers went out there and were held to -1 yard on 8 plays. Backups played well, and the rest of the game was pretty good in a loss to the Bengals, 30-27. Cubs and Nationals this afternoon at Wrigley. White Sox tangle with the Indians at Guaranteed Rate Field tonight. The news service of Positive Coaching Alliance. Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA is a national nonprofit offering more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports. Coaches, parents, students, and administrators visit PCADevZone.org. 6:34, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager tries to understand the left's latest outrage.
I don't know how they sleep at night, since they believe in all of their hysterias on the left. But the latest for the left is straws, plastic straws. They don't enjoy you having much joy. It is an amazing phenomenon of the ascetic religion of leftism.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Bubba Burger is America's favorite burger. Bubba Burger offers something for everyone at the grill. Beef, turkey, and veggie burgers. The brand, the quality, the convenience. You'll never bite a burger better than a Bubba.
Are you tired of working for someone else making them rich? Do you have a positive attitude and an entrepreneur mindset? And are you willing to take real risk? Then you're in luck. The NV Real Estate Company has been perfecting the art of wholesaling properties for cash. And when you call now, they'll send you a free copy of their new kit, The Hidden Treasures in Wholesaling Property. In this kit, you'll see their wholesaling formula for locating, evaluating, and flipping properties for profit in any area. You'll also learn how to potentially access discounted real estate and find the right funding partners for that property to wholesale. Call 1-800-587-0182 now to get your free wholesaling kit. Call 800-587-0182 now and get free admission to live training in your area, which includes a free meal, a free smartwatch, and free USB drive loaded with his training information. Call 800-587-0182. That's 800-587-0182 now and get your free kit today.
6:36. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Eden Spur eastbound. Traffic's heavy from the Toll Plaza to Waukegan Road with ongoing construction. And the Edens itself, it's a little tight. Cicero to Montrose. It's 20 minutes like Cook to the Junction up on 19. Kennedy, inbound delays start at Canfield. 28 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 13 from Montrose, 11 on the Express. Outbound 24 to the airport. About Eisenhower, delays start at 17. 40 minutes, 390 to downtown. 27 from Manheim. Outbound 33 minutes to 390. Stevenson, 45 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. It's fine outbound. O'Brien, 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. Crash at Roosevelt in the left lane. I-57, Bishop Ford, both fine. Northbound Tri-State, stop and go from the Reagan Tollway, much of the way to Lawrence. Veterans Memorial, northbound at the Reagan Tollway, got a stall in the right lane. Traffic's building there. Southbound 53 has a roadwork delay. The Adams Tollway to Woodfield Road. Traffic service of unbound.org. Right now, there's a girl in India who has dreams bigger than her village. Right now, there's an elder in Guatemala who dreams of a life of greater dignity and less loneliness. You can help change the future of one person in a single moment at unbound.org. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Jim, thank you. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Have a partly sunny day setting up, seasonably warm, high of 84, and a partly cloudy evening. Should be a lot quieter than yesterday where we had some powerful storms swing through the area, heavy rain, and some trees that were uprooted, especially to the north. Low of 67. 72 right now at O'Hare. Next news at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Money Hour Radio Show, Saturday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer. Brought to you by Pearshell Financial Group.
When you've got questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity this afternoon at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Today payday? It's Friday.
I don't know.
Is it? Mike, Scott, anybody?
Somebody.
Wow. So somebody's not living paycheck to paycheck.
You can have this conversation with HR offline.
Well, does anybody know?
What?
It is? Oh, it's that you just heard. Yeah, it's payday today.
Okay.
So thanks for buying Uber Eats.
Yeah, it's the least I could do, apparently. All right, I want to get to
you kids are expensive.
Bruce Orr's notes on his meeting with Glenn Simpson and just the remarkable nature of what we're learning about senior officials at Justice, in addition to the FBI, the behavior we've seen from a former DNI, Michael Hayden, from a former CIA director, John Brennan. You know what's remarkable to me? Not just that they were not playing it straight. They're so bad at this. I mean, Bruce Orr is number 4 at Department of Justice. Is there such a talent deficit there? That if they wanted to create a narrative about Russian interference in the election and Trump as the Manchurian candidate for Putin and all that, they've done a terrible job. You would think with the expertise and resources at their disposal, they could perform, better than Maxwell Smart. Listen, notes released from Bruce Orr recounting his meeting with Glenn Simpson, the head of Fusion GPS, who contracted Christopher Steele to cobble together the Trump dossier. Michael Cohen was the go-between from Russia to the Trump campaign. That's what Simpson told Bruce Orr during a December 10th, 2016 meeting. This is after the election, right?
Mm-hmm.
Michael Cohen was the go-between from Russia to the Trump campaign. Yet Simpson acknowledged that most of the information Fusion GPS and British intelligence operative Christopher Steele developed did not come from sources inside Moscow. Much of the collection came from a former Russian intelligence officer, that's a question mark, not entirely clear, who lives in the U.S., according to Orr's notes. Of course, Michael Cohen has repeatedly denied this. They allege that he went to Prague for some meeting. He says he's never been to Prague. Lanny Davis declined to comment further on Cohen's name being mentioned in Orr's recounting of the meeting. And then this, one notation that stands out, this is John Solomon reporting in The Hill, by the way. One notation that stands out is Simpson's account that he asked Steele to talk with Mother Jones reporter David Korn about their muckraking on Trump and Russia in the final days of the election. Steele worked as an FBI source at the time. The October 31 David Korn story in Mother Jones, just a week before the election, was one of the most definitive to allege possible ties between the Trump campaign and Moscow, creating an important talking point for Democrats in the final days of the campaign. Writes Bruce Orr about this. Glenn asked Christopher Steele, to speak to the Mother Jones reporter. It was Glenn's Hail Mary attempt. Hail Mary attempt. When Glenn Simpson testified before Congress, he said he and Steele acted out of a sense of duty. It was about professional obligations. We're both citizens. We report crimes. People report crimes all the time. The problem is, he also said, I wasn't convinced there was a specific crime that occurred. So why he and Steele went to the press shortly before Election Day with allegations before the FBI completed its work, if this was based in civic duty, and if Steele was still working with the FBI right up through the election. Much of the information attributed to Simpson from Bruce Orr's notes, per their December 2016 meeting, involved uncorroborated allegations, claims that a computer server in a Russian-owned bank was secretly transmitting messages to the Trump campaign, or that the NRA was secretly taking money from a Russian official. But many of those claims made their way into news accounts anyway. Solomon shares the Bruce Orr's notes with career intelligence professionals. He suggests that they said, and I'm quoting from his piece, they all had the same reaction. The information on face value has the lowest level of credibility. It was second or third hand, they noted, couched with a lot of caveats like may, possibly, and others disagree. The alleged Simpson statement that he went to the media as a Hail Mary stood out to those intelligence professionals as an act of desperation that they would see as weighing against the motives of an intelligence source. This is just a joke. Byron York with Laura Ingraham the other night kind of went into some additional detail about this, about why Christopher Steele was flacking for a Russian oligarch that at one time had a business relationship with Paul Manafort, and then that turned into litigation with each one of them accusing the other of stealing. Listen to this. This is all Paul Manafort, Carter Page, and Michael Cohen. Michael Cohen is not being pursued by Bob Mueller. He kicked that case to the Southern District. Paul Manafort's on trial for alleged crimes related to his business practices, have nothing to do with the Russians. And Carter Page hasn't been charged with anything.
And then today,
it appears that Christopher Steele, when he's writing these emails, is kind of lobbying for Oleg Deripaska, saying, he wants to come back to the United States for a meeting, and it looks like he's going to get a visa, and that's a really good thing because we're hearing he's not really a tool of the Kremlin. And it was like he was lobbying on his behalf. And you're thinking, what in the world is going on here? And then these conversations kind of morph at mid-year 2016 into a dossier conversation.
Are you saying you think Oleg Deripaska had something to do with the dossier?
I don't know. He was in contact with Christopher Steele.
Maybe he can have two conversations going on at the same time. I mean, why do they have to be related?
That's entirely possible.
And then York also recounts this other little exchange between Steele and Orr that's noteworthy.
Mid-year 2016, Christopher Steele says to Orr, we need to talk. I need to talk to you about some other business, but I specifically want to discuss with you informally and separately, and it concerns our favorite business tycoon. And now most people who have read this believe that's Donald Trump.
Oh, Trump, of course.
Because that's just a few days before Christopher Steele actually tells the FBI, gives them the first installment of his dossier, which is that famous Moscow hotel room scene.
So Christopher Steele, working for Fusion GPS, as is Bruce Orr's wife, tells Bruce Orr, fourth in charge at Justice, that he wants to talk about our favorite business tycoon in the full blossom of the 2016 campaign. No conflict there.
Oh, no.
That's not problematic.
No. And I'm still upset that when Comey did go to the Trump Tower and speak with President Trump, then candidate Trump, he didn't tell him that the dossier was paid for by the DNC, by Democrats.
It's interesting you raised that.
How would you leave that bit of information out?
Lindsey Graham picked up on that this week, too, and said, well, boy, why didn't the FBI give Trump the same treatment they gave Dianne Feinstein when they informed her that they had concerns that there was a Chinese national that had infiltrated her office and was potentially potentially seeking information to relate back to China, potentially compromising the integrity of her office, intelligence that she may see, and so forth. The FBI informed DIFI about this concern. Why not?
Why not President Trump, or then candidate Trump?
Yeah, candidate for president, nominee for president.
And then in a weird thing, today, the former Manhattan Madam, Kristen Davis, you heard about, she's going to be appearing before Mueller's grand jury. It's just a strange cast of characters. I guess her connection with Roger Stone, but also to see if there's anything involved in Russian meddling.
Yeah,
with the Manhattan Mama or
Madam,
excuse me.
Byron York just tweeted out too. This is interesting. You heard him on Laura Ingram's show. Uh-huh. He also has written up his reports in WashingtonExaminer.com. He's been one of the key reporters on this saga from the beginning. He tweeted out, emails raised clear question of whether Steele was working for Russian oligarch Deripaska, who he was referencing in the conversation with Ingram. Mm-hmm. At the same time, Steele was compiling dossier and whether Justice Department, along with Simpson, Fusion GPS, was part of the project. Twitter sent him a message. We received a complaint regarding your account per this email. But good to know that tweet I just read with a story linked to the Washington Examiner piece of York's reporting, Twitter found not to violate their speech code, and so they will take no action on Byron York's account.
Oh, my goodness.
No, don't worry about the cultural Marxists, folks. Yeah. No. Bruce in Bloomingdale.
Good morning. Looking back on all this that went on for the last 3 or 4 years, I'm surprised the United States wasn't invaded by Liechtenstein. Apparently, our intelligence agencies have been so incompetent as to make Inspector Clouseau look like the sharpest knife in the drawer.
Well, it is a little bit the mouse that roared, right? We could have been taken over by, what was it, New Fenwick or something in that Peter Sellers movie? Thanks.
This is insane. Is this the best our Ivy League institutions can produce to protect our country?
Thanks for the call, Bruce. Well, agreed. And to the extent that they would rather conspire to prevent a particular candidate from winning a particular election, as I said again, they're terrible at this. They're just awful at this. A few dogged reporters have completely undermined the integrity of these agencies. I mean, just by revealing their conduct, frankly, not in a purposeful way. It wasn't their agenda. Just revealing their conduct. It speaks for itself. And they're terrible at speaking for themselves on the rare occasion when they appear before a congressional committee. How impressed are you today with those who we are supposed to default to, that are beyond reproach? Your CIA director, John Brennan, your FBI director, Jim Comey, his senior people, Andy McCabe, Peter Strzok, Bruce Orr at Justice, Rod Rosenstein, frankly, at Justice. How impressed are you with these folks now, a year and a half later?
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Crocs Footwear closing plants in Mexico and Italy. JCPenney expanding its baby items platform, and long-term mortgage rates down slightly. Those stories next.
The way you get your medicine prescriptions is now changing across America. GoGoMeds.com can deliver your medicine right to your door. Here's all you need to do. Your doctor gives you the prescription. You go online to GoGoMeds.com, put in your information, and make sure to include the promo code Mike2018 to save $10 off your first prescription. Your meds are then delivered to your home, and you've saved money. It's that easy. No more waiting, no lines, no copay each month, and best of all, no wandering around the store aimlessly waiting for your prescription to be filled. GoGoMeds.com, the new way to get your medicine delivered right to your door. Remember that getting your prescription filled now means never having to go to a store again. GoGoMeds.com. GoGoMeds.com. Use the promo code Mike2018 to save $10 off your first prescription. That's GoGoMeds.com. Promo code Mike2018.
Crocs, the Colorado-based footwear company made famous by its oversized comfort shoes, closing 4 plants and replacing its chief financial officer. Crocs also planning to close retail stores as leases expire in favor of online sales. Despite all the changes, Crocs just reported a second quarter profit of more than $30 million. JCPenney is expanding the variety of their baby products. In-store items will now include cribs, high chairs, strollers, and car seats, which in the past were offered only online. Freddie Mac says long-term mortgage interest rates are down slightly from last week's levels, 30-year fixed-rate mortgages averaging 4.59%. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern, on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do each morning on this show. Long-form interviews with opinion leaders and policymakers. This week, latest edition, former Trump Press Secretary Sean Spicer was in town for a book signing. We sat down and talked about a range of issues and experiences over his time in the White House. So you want to check that out. It should be posted this weekend. In addition to podcast of Illinois Rising. That's our program covering state policy and politics, which airs Sundays at 3 p.m. on these airwaves. Man on the Street, Follow the Logic segments. Heart of the Matter, featuring professional women speaking collegially about the important issues of the day. And then our sister site, defendhomeowners.com. Defendhomeowners.com. We are doing regional updates of home sales for the first 6 months of 2018 and the property tax implications, property tax impact on those sale prices in your community, in your neighborhood even. So you can get a free property tax report on your home and all the updated home sales information in your community at defendhomeowners.com and everything else at upstream-ideas.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
My husband's blood pressure has dropped 30 points. I've lost 8 pounds. He's lost about 20 pounds. His arthritis is gone. You guys have given me back my husband. I'd come home from work, and if he beat me home from work, he would be laying in the recliner, and I would feed him supper in his recliner and would be like really boring, pathetic old people watching TV while we ate dinner and then go to bed exhausted and wake up tired. I came home from work last night, and he was mowing the lawn. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's so amazing.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Ryan Siebert, CEO of SG Homebuilders and a customer of Signature Bank. Over the last 10 years, my business pivoted multiple times to adjust to the fluctuations in the Chicago real estate market. Signature Bank's partnership with us and their ability to adapt to changes has allowed us to become a leading custom home builder. Signature Bank is a relationship-based business bank right here in Chicago, providing services and advice that address our unique situation, and they serve as a trusted consultant on what works best for my business. Signature Bank helped us build SG Homebuilders while we were busy building dream homes for our clients.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Seems like summer just got started, but it's not too soon to start thinking about the fall, at least when it comes to your child's education. Registration for fall enrollment for grades 7 through 12 is happening now at St. John's Northwestern Military Academy, providing young men and now women with an outstanding education and preparation for life. Since 1884, St. John's Northwestern Military Academy in the beautiful Lake County region of southeast Wisconsin has been developing the minds and shaping the character of young men from around the country and around the world, many of whom have gone on to achieve great success. And now, that same opportunity is available for young women. They prepare cadets for success in life by instilling a solid work ethic, an understanding of the value of integrity and teamwork, and the ability to think critically, communicate well, and function in a diverse and ever-changing world. To learn more about fall enrollment or to schedule a visit, call 1-800-SJ-CADET. That's 1-800-SJ-CADET, or visit their website, sjnma.org.
Investment advisory services offered through Sound Income Strategies, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisory firm. We're Sound Income Strategies, and baby boomers who have heard our message and called for a free income kit now understand the secret to a great retirement is our middle name, Income. You see, at Sound Income Strategies, we transform high-fee, high-taxed retirement spend-downs into sustained retirement income. It's time for you to join the income generation. For your free, no-obligation income kit, call 866-913-1234, 866-913-1234 to speak to an income specialist. Call 866-913-1234. Sound Income Strategies. Remember, the secret to a great retirement is our middle name, Income. For your free income kit, call 866-913-1234, 866-913-1234. Call now.
AM 560, The Answer.
As we're enjoying our McDonald's from Uber Eats, before Ed Burke introduces a ordinance to cap the number of Uber Eat vehicles like de Blasio is doing to Uber and Lyft in New York. New York does it. We'll do it here. McDonald's, the old rock and roll McDonald's is reopened.
That was one of the fastest turnarounds I've ever seen.
About a year. Yeah.
It's less than a year, right?
It's demolished about 13 months ago. It's eco-friendly, don't you know? 1,000 solar panels sitting atop the roof there. Yeah.
It is nice. It's a complete step up for that neighborhood.
I'd still rather go across the street to Portillo's, but that's me. There's touchscreen kiosks, big 27-foot windows. Now, that doesn't mean that there's any reduction in employment, of course. 100 employee staff to work the new restaurant, plans to hire another 50. The kiosks didn't result in staff reduction. The cashier roles were repurposed as servers and runners for mobile orders and other jobs. Yeah, we'll see if that stands if the city council passes that fair work week ordinance to regulate businesses like McDonald's.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Kendall County property taxes, our latest regional report at 7:07.
And it's happening. Game on. A few football players take a knee. What will their punishment be, if any? But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Here are the stories we are watching this morning. The president blaming city leadership for a spike in Chicago violence. CPD cracking down on large unsanctioned street parties this weekend. Willie Wilson is defending his cash giveaways. Bears lose to the Bengals. Cubs host the Nats. Sox host the Indians. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
Thousands more homes are threatened by a wildfire in Southern California. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. This one's called the Holy Fire, burning in Orange and Riverside counties.
You know, you hope it's kind of fading out, and it kind of went up and down, faded out, came back, and now it just hit hard and flashed right through.
20,000 people are under evacuation orders. A local man is charged with starting the fire and could face life in prison if convicted. The North Korean government is expressing some frustration about relations with the United States since Kim Jong-un's summit with President Trump. Fox's Simon Owens on that story.
Chris, North Korea's foreign ministry saying the country has made a series of goodwill gestures, but the United States continues to follow an outdated script, complaining that American sanctions haven't been relaxed. The Trump administration says the penalties will remain in place until North Korea abandons its nuclear weapons program. But the North is pointing to measures including its halting of missile tests and saying expecting results while insulting a dialogue partner is a foolish act, like waiting to see a boiled egg hatch. Chris?
A boiled egg hatch. Simon, thanks. A child killer's been executed in Tennessee.
More than 30 years after he'd raped and strangled a 7-year-old girl, Billy Ray Irick apologized last night, strapped to a gurney on the Tennessee death row, and asked if he had any final words.
He appeared to sigh and say no, and then said, "I just want to say I'm really sorry, and that's it."
AP reporter Jonathan Matisse, who witnessed the execution, the Supreme Court yesterday refused a challenge to Tennessee's lethal injection mix. Attorneys had claimed the sedative midazolam might not mask any pain from the process, but about a minute after the execution began, Irick was unconscious and snoring. Jack Callahan, Fox News.
At least 4 people are reported killed in a shooting in Fredericton, Canada. No other details available yet. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Partly sunny skies, 72 degrees at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer, good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Jury selection begins today in the trial of 2 reputed gang members who were charged in the deadly shooting of Chicago teen Hadia Pendleton in 2013. Chicago police will be cracking down on large, unsanctioned street parties in an effort to try and prevent gun violence this weekend.
We have to look at what they're doing, such as drinking, amplified music, smoking weed, those types of things, littering. All of those things will factor into how we gauge it.
President Donald Trump is also hitting Chicago political leadership hard over the spike in gun violence.
That's bad stuff happening, and probably, I guess you have to take from the leadership. Let's go bad to leadership. There's no reason in a million years that something like that should be happening in Chicago.
Meantime, Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner says Chicago's mayor has failed to stop the violence in the city. 2 teenage boys and a woman are wounded following a drive-by shooting on the west side. The victims were standing on the sidewalk yesterday in the 3800 block of West Arthington Street when someone in a passing vehicle fired shots. Family and friends are remembering a Chicago teen struck and killed by a Metra train last weekend. A vigil and balloon release was held last night at Lane Tech High School on the north side to honor rising senior Sincere Ash. The 17-year-old died on Sunday. Bears' starting offense did not click. The rest of the team played pretty well in their 30-27 preseason loss to the Bengals in Cincinnati. Gary Woodland is on top of the leaderboard after the first round of the PGA Championship at Bellerive in St. Louis. The news, a service of Compassion International. You can't change the whole world, but you can be part of the change in the world for a child living in poverty by becoming a Compassion International child sponsor. You can choose a child to sponsor now at compassion.com/radio, compassion.com/radio. 7:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity explains how the mainstream media works.
The media, what they do is they fixate and obsess literally every single day and on one particular issue, and it's like they're one voice in unison in their bubble, and they just hyperventilate. Hysteria abounds, thinking this is the end of Donald Trump. And guess what? It's not the end of Donald Trump again.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joel Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event. And now, while selection is best, it's the best time to buy. With amazing offers across a full lineup of Ford vehicles, now is the time to make summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. Stop by a local Ford store or shop online at buyfordnow.com because there is no better time than right now to get behind the wheel of a new Ford during the Ford Summer Sales Event. The Ford Summer Sales Event is here. Right now, get 0% APR financing for 60 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on the 2018 EcoSport. Best-selling claim based on 2017 calendar year sales. Not all buyers will qualify for Ford credit financing. 60 months at $1,667 per month for $1,000 finance regardless of down payment. For all offers, take new retail delivery from an authorized Ford dealer stock by 8/31/18. See dealer or go to buyfordnow.com for qualifications and details.
It is 7:05. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Southbound Tri-State Tollway is jammed from Toohey to the Irving Park Toll Plaza. There was a crash there. It cleared quickly, but the damage is done. Things really backed up in a hurry. So it's a real solid jam from Toohey to that toll plaza. On the northbound side, stop and go from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis, the Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower, and from North Avenue to Lawrence. Veterans Memorial northbound, jammed 75th to Ogden after a crash. Also heavy Butterfield to North Avenue. Southbound 53 is heavy from the Adams Tollway to Woodfield Road with ongoing construction. Eden's 20 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, southbound 19. The spur now has delays in both directions. Kennedy 30 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 17 from Montrose, 14 in the Express. Outbound 26 minutes to O'Hare. Von Eisenhower, 40 minutes, 390 to downtown, 27 from Manheim. Outbound 33 minutes to 390. Stevenson, 45 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 36. Ryan is 32 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northwest Indiana's clear. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. And your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Patchy fog for the morning away from the city. Otherwise, a warm day today with partial sunshine, high 84. Partly cloudy night, low 67. Then tomorrow, a mix of sun and some clouds, high 86. And a mainly clear night, low 69. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
73 at O'Hare. Next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is sponsored by the Townstone Financial Show, Saturday afternoons at 1. Nobody values your mortgage business like Townstone. Listen and call for the best advice.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and it's time for another one of our regional home sales / property tax updates, updating the first 6 months of home sales around the Chicago metropolitan area in 2018. We've done Lake County, we've done McHenry County. You can get all these stories at newspapers that are the regional newspapers that I started. Or defendhomeowners.com if you want to look up all the data. 2018 property tax report, Kendall County. And by the way, just as a side, in Kendall County, former Kendall County Republican chairman Terry Pescia passed away recently. He was a friend. Terry and Connie were also listeners. Great people in Kendall County. So just condolences to the Pescia family and good people in Kendall County. Best way to do these, or what we're trying to do, is just tell stories and see how they match up to your story, or maybe take a look at your numbers if you haven't in a while, to get a handle on what your story is looking to be if you try and sell your home, or if you think you're going to get a return on the investment you've made in your home. Oswego, the owner of 402 Kent Court, a realtor named Yi Woo Han paid $395,000 in March of 2007. That's $480,000 in today's dollars, so constant 2018 dollars, adjusted for inflation. 4-bedroom, 3-bath home in an Oswego cul-de-sac. The asking price on Thursday, August 9th, when Han listed the home, $378,000. Paid $395,000 in March of 2007. His asking price is $17,000 lower nominally. In point of fact, it's $100,000 lower when you adjust for inflation. $100,000 hit in 11 years. While Han's home value fell 21% in 11 years. Good inflation hedge, huh? Not in Illinois. His property tax bill increased 39%. And the two are connected. I say again, please spread the word. Help people make connections. Property tax bill going up, home value going down. There is an inversely proportional relationship. Well, by the way, Han paid $128,000 in property taxes, more than during the 11 years he owned the property, more than 1/3 of what he hopes to get for it. So he lost $100,000 on what he paid for versus what he's selling it, while paying $128,000 in property taxes, 1/3 of the ask price in 11 years. So again, your 30-year fixed, he would have paid for his home again at least one time just in property taxes. It's a taking. The median effective property tax rate is 2.95% in Oswego, according to per the home sales in the first 6 months of 2018. Hans, there, the example we've been giving, was a little over 3. Kendall County portion of Aurora, 3.9% of home value. Minooka, 3.3%. Plano, 3.2%. Plainfield, 3.1%. Yorkville, just under 3%. These are all 3 times the national average. And we're talking about middle-income families here. The median home price for 6 months of the year in the Kane County portion of Aurora, $209,000. Minooka, $186,000. Plano, $150,000. Plainfield, $357,000. Yorkville, $230,000. Oswego, $240,000. Montgomery, $228,000. So I ask the question again: your pension, your job, or your home, which are you going to give up? Which are you going to allow to be liquidated or just straight up taken? Pension, job, or home? I can tell you that almost no matter where you live, ultimately your home will be taken. Your home, the home that you're renting from the government. The stealth mortgage for pensions that you're paying. And if you think this information is leading to spending discipline, despite Illinois being in the worst financial condition of any state in the nation, $130 billion in unfunded pension liabilities, $250 billion in debt. You think it's bailout after bailout, more borrowing on top of borrowing. You know, we're still paying for credit card, or still paying for groceries we bought in 1990 because we pay the monthly minimum on our credit cards. That's how we do it in Illinois. And we're now selling blood to keep the lights on. What do I mean? Well, let me tell you about Chicago. Tiny Dancer, who no one wants to admit, but what we've said on this show, reported on this show for years now, Chicago police and fire pension funds are insolvent. They will be unable to pay current beneficiaries in the not-too-distant future. Nobody will admit it, but the numbers tell the story. The math doesn't care what your political affiliation is or what your feelings are. So what's Rahm proposing to do? Borrow $10 billion to plug the city's $30 billion unfunded pension liabilities. $10 billion to plug the $30 billion.
Can you imagine the interest on that?
Well, we've done.
Our rating is so low.
I don't even need to imagine it. This is Rod Blagojevich Redux. This is what Rod Blagojevich did in 2003. $10 billion borrowing scheme to pay down at that time $43 billion in unfunded pension liabilities at the state level. Now that's tripled. And the $10 billion we borrowed 15 years ago, oh, by the way, with the help of big government Republicans in the Senate who are still in charge of units of government today, Kirk Dillard, state senator, voted for the $10 billion Blago borrowing scheme, RTA chairman. Dan Cronin, DuPage County Board chairman, voted for the $10 billion Blago borrowing scheme. You know where that stands? 15 years later, triple the unfunded pension liabilities, and Illinoisans paying off that bond sale because, not paid by the bond fairy, paid by taxpayers. $13.6 billion left in principal and interest to go.
On Blago's?
On Blago's $10 billion borrowing deal from 15 years ago. We still got $13.4 billion to pay. $13.6 billion.
Declare bankruptcy.
Well,
we can't.
But so this is Blago Redux in the city.
And so Rahm Emanuel wants to do this over again.
Yes, because
a redo.
Because there is no willingness and there is no accountability for not continuing to borrow against tomorrow to pay for yesterday. And what's he proposing to do as the way to get access to the bond markets?
Yeah.
Guarantee future sales tax revenue. Because there's nothing left that's to sell. Skyway, parking meters. So next up, local government shared revenue, personal property replacement taxes, motor fuel taxes. You're going to have to put bondholders ahead of taxpayers and other stakeholders because that's the only way they're going to buy what you're selling, even at Sopranos rates, even with the yield that people are looking for. So it doesn't work, and we're providing marrow to do it. And it's an admission that what we've been saying on this show is true. So Chicago police and firefighters who don't believe what we've been saying, and other public sector union members who don't believe that math is real, Rahm's borrowing scheme tells you that the math is real. And he's hoping to win re-election, and the last thing he wants to do is be the mayor when pension beneficiaries are not getting their pension checks in the mail because the funds have capsized. So what do you want to do about it? Oh, Chicago Public Schools? We bailed out Chicago Public Schools last year.
Yeah, to the tune of how much?
Well, $17 billion pension bailout, assuming the unfunded pension liabilities of the Chicago Teachers Union.
Did you say 17 billion?
That's what I said. Oh, yeah.
Billion.
Yep. And
are we using monopoly money for all of this?
We have, of course, CPS that routinely runs billion-dollar operating deficits. Spend $19,000 per kid. Talking in the against the backdrop of the violent crime in Chicago about the quality of the schools. Talked to State Representative LaShawn Ford about that yesterday. So CPS certainly chastened by their junk-rated status, the financial mismanagement, the abuse scandals, the bailouts that have been required. Right? They're going to tighten their belt and start to fly right. Mm-hmm. Their 2019 fiscal budget, they are set to spend 18% more than they spent in 2018. They have increased their overall spending by nearly 20% from 19 to 18 budget years. They added 13% more school administrators and are larding on up to another $1 billion in debt. And let me tell you something, suburbanites. Take a look at your school districts, too, because I'll bet you dollars to donuts that most of them are doing the same thing. They're not to the extent of CPS, obviously. That's almost impossible. But they're not rolling back spending. They're not recalibrating salaries and benefit levels. It's full steam ahead. Full steam ahead. The only thing that's in their way, your homes, your jobs, your pensions. And those will be additional marrow that is extracted to finance these guaranteed benefit levels for the political ruling class and all of its real constituents. Don in Bloomingdale, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Dan, every time the mayor does this stuff, the boys down at Mesro, all the bond traders are drooling.
Absolutely.
Because they set the interest rate. Last time I think they went to the well, it was 9.5%, and that's what we pay.
That's right. Absolutely right. Thanks for the call, Don. Well, that's the pinstripe patronage. That's part of the constituency of the political ruling class in this state, Republicans and Democrats. Bill in LaSalle County.
Hi, Dan, Amy. I used to live in Oswego from 1987 to 1997. And in 1987, the town was about 3,500 people, according to the sign on the road. Now it's probably about 36,000. In October, I don't know if you know this, they're planning to open a $30 million new police station to replace the one currently across from Fox Bend Golf Course. That's almost $1 million for every 1,000 residents of Oswego. And I think a lot of that is civic envy. They look to the city north of them at Aurora and their big, beautiful police station. But these towns, cities, counties, state, they've got to stop spending money they don't have.
Well,
when are they going to get it?
When their constituents hold somebody accountable for doing so. Thanks for the call, Bill. I mean, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, go look at the south suburbs. Go look at the Southland.
Oh, it's depressing.
It's devastating. It's a depression.
It's so sad.
But with the nicest buildings, or what?
Well, the police station.
Government buildings.
Government buildings.
The village hall, the police
Nobody was
station,
there.
the school, the schools. Real nice. Real nice. Government-centric society. This is what it begets. You are spare parts for them. Is there any confusion about this? Because if you're confused, please call.
312-642-5600.
Tom in Bolingbrook.
Morning, Dan and Amy. I worked for a local police department in a West Side village, and I got onto the pension board a couple of years ago because I was suspicious of the math, as you say, Dan. You know, just add it up and see how it looked.
Yeah.
And once I was able to actually learn what the state code is and how they do the math, or I should just make up the math in Springfield and try to determine what everyone has to put in, I realized that it is a Ponzi scheme, right down to the definition that Madoff went to jail for. It's exactly the same thing. And so my wife and I, we understand our pension won't be there, just like as a millennial, I understand Social Security won't be there. So we're going to have to make tough decisions. And on top of it all, we send our daughter to private school because our local school is not providing the education we need while I pay $11,000 a year in taxes on a 2,400 square foot house. Thanks, Dan and Amy.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. Thanks for sharing. I mean, that's right there.
You're making me want to move now.
It's just another story. I mean, you know, this is like, scaring people, wanting to make people move. No. I mean, do you want to live in a woozy dream world, or do you just want to confront the reality on the ground? That's the choice. I have yet to hear for all of my critics on these topics, I've yet to hear somebody say you're wrong. I have yet to hear somebody say the numbers are wrong. The inevitability of the math is wrong. Nobody says that. What they say is, you're a, conservative hack, or you're ideological, or you don't care about people, or we're working on racist, it, or there's plenty of blame to go around, or we're racist, or transphobic, or something.
Democratic Party was founded on being caring.
You're not for the working man, or you want to steal people's pensions, or something that is totally off point. Because on the merits of the data and the scams and the implications, there is no other side. There's just willful blindness. David in McCook.
Hey, happy Friday, guys. First of all, when are you going to learn that CPS is for the children?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Secondly, a lot of these people losing their rear ends on their houses. I wish I could say I feel sorry for them, but I don't, because these are the same lemmings that keep voting for Democratic leaders in this state.
Some of them. Yeah, thanks for the call, David. Not all, but some. Candace in DuPage.
When I bought my house in Elmhurst, it was $195,000. My property taxes are $5,000, and I realized that's not very expensive compared to all these other people you're talking about, Dan. But I know what they were previously. They gave me a break for a few years, and previously they were 7 or 8. So I know that that's where they're going. So we went online, and I've been searching for a house in Wisconsin, Indiana, what worries me about Wisconsin is that Scott Walker will get kicked out and we will be Chicago up in Wisconsin in no time. So when we found houses like ours in Indiana for literally $900 to $1,500 for property taxes, even though that's a very long commute for my husband, that solidified our decision.
Yeah.
Right then and there.
Yeah.
So it'll be Candace
okay,
from
can
Indiana.
I just say one more thing?
Candace from Northwest
one more
Indiana.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. What disgusts me about Elmhurst is that it is like a little Chicago, if you know what's going on here. 14 aldermen, really? You should see how nice the fire stations are. There's never any fires here. You know what I mean? Which is why we're going to move to a town instead of a city where there's volunteer policemen and volunteer firemen. I don't believe in these cities. They're a scam.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for the call, Candace. It is interesting about 70% of communities in the nation volunteer fire departments.
Yeah.
Randy in Elkhorn.
Yeah, so the pensions in Illinois are not taxed. They get a 3% cost of living every year. So I do believe that if you compound that over 21 years, you've doubled your pension. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, well, right. I mean, look.
I love the people who are retired who are collecting pensions that live in states that have low property taxes.
Well, not only
Arizona.
that, but to Randy's point, I mean, the real play here, there's two things. One is you make more in retirement than you ever did working
Exactly.
shortly into your retirement. The Maine West principle that we spoke about earlier in the week, that will get everything she put back into her pension back in year 3. She retired at 54. She'll be making more than she made working by the age 65.
To the tune of $7.1 million. Right?
Over the lifetime of her retirement, projected present value. Yes. I mean, it's not sustainable. Everybody's nice and everybody's wonderful and everybody likes teachers and first responders and state workers. It is not, you cannot make the math work. And until somebody wants to show me the math that works, that not only digs us out of $130 billion in unfunded liabilities, but provides a sustainable way forward, then you can, call me every name in the book, but the math is coming for you and coming for things you care about, like your home and your job and your pension. That's going to happen. And the problem, of course, is the fundamental political problem here. The real insight that the ruling class crime families gleaned generations ago, they figured out, it's that, you know how you create loyalty for life? It's not the job. It's the pension. It's the pension. Make the pension too sweet to ever walk away from doing our bidding. That's what they've done. That's the story of Illinois.
La 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 ka-ching.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer. Being successful in business means overcoming enormous obstacles to serve your customers and community. AM 560, The Answer, wants to shine a spotlight on businesses that are thriving. We want to celebrate their success by finding out what makes these businesses unique, successful, and what we can learn from them. We want to know how you built it. Presented by Chicagoland Waterproofing. To tell us how you built it, go to 560theanswer.com/built. That's 560theanswer.com/BUILT. Sponsored by Signature Bank and Ozinga.
With the recent rainy weather, Permaseal is working hard to help homeowners across Chicago area and Northwest Indiana, but they need your help. Permaseal is hiring now in all departments: sales, customer service, installation. They're looking for people who have a great work ethic, who have ambition, positive attitude, and want to learn new skills, and have a desire to make the world a better, drier place, if you know what I mean. If this sounds like you, then go to permaseal.net/careers. No experience is needed. Permaseal will teach you to become an expert in waterproofing and foundation repair. That's foundation repair. Their experienced team offers great training, year-round work, tremendous growth opportunities, and a great fun work environment. To apply, go to permaseal.net/careers. If you're looking for a career change or a dry basement, you know who to call. Permaseal at 800-421-SEAL. That's 800-421-7325, or go to permaseal.net.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
It's probably been about 10 years ago. I had quite a few credit cards. The interest on the cards was really high. I was making the minimum payments, but barely. And it was just getting to be too much, so I called Trinity.
If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976 to talk to a certified counselor.
They met with me, and they were able to get all of my credit cards in one lower payment.
Trinity will consolidate your accounts into one easy-to-manage monthly payment, put a stop to late fees and over-limit charges, reduce your interest, and possibly improve your credit score. You'll save thousands.
They did help me learn how to manage my money. Now, we have a house, and we're doing a lot better.
If your debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
My name is Holly, and I am debt-free for keeps.
1-800-990-6976.
AM 560, The
Answer. Dip. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
The war of words escalates. Finger-pointing, blame-shifting continues with respect to Chicago violent crime. We're going to discuss precision policing as one solution, improvement to increase the peace on the streets of Chicago with John Lott Jr. at 7:37.
But first, let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Partly sunny skies, 73 degrees. Police in Canada say at least 4 are dead in what's being described as a mass shooting in the eastern province of New Brunswick. It happened around 7:30 local time. That would be around 6:30 our time in the provincial capital of Fredericton. Police tweeting out that those living in the city of 60,000 should stay in their homes and keep their doors locked. Gaza's militant Islamic Hamas rulers and Israel appear to be honoring a ceasefire today that ended 2 days of an intense flare-up in violence amid efforts by neighboring Egypt to negotiate peace between the two sides. Prosecutors are expected to wind up their case against former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort today. There's now an 8th death in Northern California's massive car fire. A heavy equipment operator was killed in a crash while fighting that fire near Redding. Kansas Secretary of State Chris Kobach says he will recuse himself from the vote tally process.
It's purely sort of a titular role. You're head of the state election process, but all of the work is done at the county level. The counties do the counting of ballots. There's really no point to it, but I said if my opponent wishes me to, I'd be happy to.
Kobach is the current frontrunner in the Republican primary for Kansas governor. The latest figures this morning now have him about 100 votes ahead of Governor Jeff Collier. CVS Health is recalling a potentially harmful batch of its 12-hour sinus relief nasal mist. The FDA says some bottles of that product were found to have microbiological contamination. Here in Chicago, jury selection begins today in the trial of 2 reputed gang members charged in the deadly shooting of Chicago teen Hadia Pendleton in 2013. Chicago police say they will be cracking down on large, unsanctioned street parties in an effort to try and prevent gun violence this weekend. Chicago sports, Bears fell to the Bengals in the NFL preseason, 30-27. Gary Woodland on top of the leaderboard after round 1 of the PGA Championship in St. Louis. Cubs and Nationals on tap this afternoon. Sox and Indians tonight. The news service of the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Use your power to cure and pedal with a purpose at Spin for Crohn's and Colitis Cures. Grab some friends to join you for this high-energy indoor cycling event benefiting the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Visit spin4.org to learn more. 7:34. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
Your local 1-hour heating and air conditioning knows how miserable it feels when your AC goes out. You want it fixed fast, fixed right, and get a fast quote. Unlike some companies, we don't give you a quote until we actually see what the problem is. Then we'll give you our straightforward price and always stand by our work. Right now, get savings on any AC repair. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I've got ankylosing spondylitis, which is a arthritic disease, calcification of the major joints and spine, and I just don't have the pain that I used to have. It's really kind of amazing. Balance of Nature has been an amazing product. I've recommended it to literally hundreds. I'm a pastor, and I've said, y'all just try it. Give it a month. Give it a try. And so hopefully they have. But it's an amazing product, and the neatest thing is when you first open up that bottle and you can smell the fruits and vegetables. Every time I open one, I just get a big kick out of that.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Are you tired of working for someone else making them rich? Do you have a positive attitude and an entrepreneur mindset? And are you willing to take real risk? Then you're in luck. The NV Real Estate Company has been perfecting the art of wholesaling properties for cash. And when you call now, they'll send you a free copy of their new kit, The Hidden Treasures in Wholesaling Property. In this kit, you'll see their wholesaling formula for locating, evaluating, and flipping properties for profit in any area. You'll also learn how to potentially access discounted real estate and find the right funding partners for that property to wholesale. Call 1-800-587-0182 now to get your free wholesaling kit. Call 800-587-0182 now and get free admission to live training in your area, which includes a free meal, a free smartwatch, and free USB drive loaded with his training information. Call 800-587-0182. That's 800-587-0182 now and get your free kit today.
7:37. Let's get an update on the roads this morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. The Edens is like 19 minutes either way between Lake Cook and Montrose. The eastbound spur is bottled up from the Tri-State to Waukegan Road, westbound a bit tight, Waukegan Road to the Toll Plaza. The Kennedy, just 27 minutes O'Hare to downtown, outbound 32. The Eisenhower, inbound delays start at Central, 47 minutes, 390 to Third Circle, outbound 35. Stevenson, 44 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 36. Ryan is 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford just fine. Now the southbound Tri-State is the best, from Toohey to the Irving Park Toll after a crash. Northbound delays are from the Mile Long Bridge to the Hinsdale Oasis, and from the Reagan Floyd Lawrence. Northbound Veterans Memorial jammed, Fountain to Ogden, and St. Fidley to St. Charles. Southbound 53 has roadwork delays, Algonquin to Woodfield Road. Traffic is a service of Compassion International. Sponsoring a child with compassion is the most effective way to end extreme child poverty. Release a child from poverty and become a Compassion sponsor at compassion.com/radio. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
And we got to start watching out for the buses next week. School starts next week. Wow. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next with your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, partly sunny, seasonably warm, high 84. Partly cloudy and 67 overnight. Currently 73. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
You want more than just the headlines? Find out what's going on and what it means with me, Dennis Prager, this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy's President Trump made mention of Chicago violence. That generated a reaction from Tiny Dancer. Through a spokesman, Tiny Dancer said Bob Mueller's investigation of Paul Manafort's criminal trial must be getting to the president. But we're too busy working to continue reducing crime with police, community leaders, ministers, and federal prosecutors to pay attention to his musings, according to some flunky named Adam Collins. Yeah.
Oh, that's classic.
You're not paying attention except to respond. And working to continue reducing crime with all those stakeholders. How's it going? How's the work going, Adam? Tiny Dancer. Trump blaming bad leadership for Chicago's violence. He's not wrong. For more on this topic, we're pleased to be joined by our friend John Lott Jr. He is the president of the Crime Prevention Research Center and the author of numerous books, The War on Guns, More Guns, Less Crime. John, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me on.
I presume that you were none too surprised by the spike in violence last weekend. I mean, you don't know when it's coming, but you know it's coming, and it's just a little bit of an exaggeration of what week in, week out life is in Chicago.
I mean, Chicago is a mess with regard to fighting crime. I mean, anytime you have arrest rates for people who commit murder at 20%. Nationally, the arrest rate for murder is 64%. In Chicago, it's 20%. And for gang violence, it's even lower than that. And so it's not too surprising that if criminals aren't going to be caught for arrest, let alone conviction, at such low rates, that you're going to see more crime occurring. And when Rahm Emanuel became mayor, it was about 30%, which was already incredibly low. As I say, nationally, it's almost two-thirds. And this problem in Chicago started at the beginning of Mayor Daley's term. When Mayor Daley took over, the arrest rate was 67%, and it fell pretty much consistently throughout his entire administration, getting down to 30% when Emanuel took over, and now it's fallen by another third.
Rafael Mangual from Manhattan Institute had an interesting piece about Chicago shootings. One of the points he made, I hadn't really thought about with respect to policing, is we've generally talked about in Chicago, the police force isn't big enough. We need more police officers on the streets in these 4 of the 22 police districts in the city where most of the violent crime is occurring. But he said one of the things is, the less dense areas, like some of those west and south side neighborhoods where you've got a lot of vacant property or vacant homes, the less dense areas, you need more police. And so, kind of having 3 police congregating on every block on Michigan Avenue as a show of force isn't the highest, best use of the police if you want to make an impact on the violent crime in particular districts. And if you want to also have those that show of force on Michigan Avenue, then you got to hire more police for those other districts.
That's anybody who's looked at this stuff knows that you have to put the police where the crimes are. And one of the things that Emanuel did when he became mayor was he closed down the detective bureaus that were in the highest murder rate parts of the city and moved them to relatively well-to-do areas with lower crime rates. Now, I know he had made different promises during the campaign, but it's not a very wise use of police. I mean, the bottom line is that in many ways, it's not so much that they need more police, though obviously that would help. It's using police effectively. So it's, the detectives are still going to solve crimes in the high crime rate parts of the city, but if you move them so that they have to go and travel 45 minutes or a half hour or more longer, additional time to get to the crime scenes, that reduces the amount of time that they actually have to solve crimes.
Yeah, but the homicide clearance rate for 2017, only a reported 17% of murders were solved.
Right. No, it's ridiculously low. Right.
Unbelievable.
There's no major city that has as low of a clearance rate. The number I was using of 20% was for 2016. But, and the thing is, the clearance rate for gang murders is even lower.
But they know who they are.
This whole thing snowballs because people don't want to come forward and be witnesses if they don't think anything's going to happen.
if the gang member who committed the crime is still going to be out there or quickly be on the street again, what's the point of coming forward and trying to be a witness and do the right thing in that case?
Are there lessons to be learned from, say, Bill Bratton's tenure in New York, his philosophy of precision policing, with the first focused on kind of crime and disorder enforcement, using technology, CompStat, and creating systems that hinged on accurate intelligence and rapid deployment of resources and follow-up, along with the kind of now famous broken windows policing of making sure law enforcement pays attention to minor infractions, because ignoring them exacerbates the underlying cultural problem. Do we need a police leadership like that? Do we need a kind of a completely different strategic approach, something on the order of what Bratton implemented successfully in New York?
Well, I think that's helpful, but the big thing is just the poor use of the police. So you have this agreement, I guess about a year and a half ago or so, that Manuel made with the ACLU with regard to how the forms that police have to fill out every time they go and talk to somebody. It's like they have to spend 45 minutes or an hour filling out this long 2-page, very tiny type, legal page linked forms.
That's too much.
Which, so you're a police officer and you go and you talk to 3 or 4 people in the morning, which you would hope they're going to do if they're going to be investigating things or trying to follow up on concerns that people have. Then the rest of the afternoon, they're going out and filling out the stupid forms. And so, it's just this kind of political correctness there that adds really no additional understanding or ability to go and solve crimes. So, I mean, you can go and hire more police. You can put the police where the crimes are, which seems like pretty basic 101 stuff. But you also have to get rid of this kind of political correctness there that's wasting police officers' time. So it's being wasted in terms of travel time by closing down the detective bureaus in the high crime rate parts of the city. It's being wasted by having the stupid paperwork that they have to go and do. It's just mindless stuff that's there, that's the bureaucracy on down. And again, this is a problem that's been getting worse since the beginning of the Daley administration. And now there's no city in the country that is even close to Chicago in terms of having such a low rate of solving crimes.
And you have candidates for mayor that are mobilizing the populace against the police. That's part of an election strategy, is to run against the police. Well, that, of course, eliminates the police feelings that the civilian political authority has their back, which it doesn't. And then you're creating and fomenting mistrust among populations the police need to work with and who need to work with police to make their neighborhoods safer.
I mean, it makes no sense. I mean, part of the blame for kind of problems between the police and citizens I put on the Obama administration. They were constantly putting out these really poorly done studies claiming systematic discrimination by police departments. Anytime they'd find any disparity, they would immediately claim that it had to do with racism. And I think that has had an impact in terms of the rates that blacks in particular report crimes to police. So you end up with this situation where you're saying you're concerned about certain minority populations, and then you make it so that the minority populations are alienated against the police and
Right.
they're less likely to report crimes, and that increases crime, and so there are more victims in those areas where you're claiming you're concerned about, because the criminals are even less concerned about being caught and convicted for the crimes because they know that the police aren't going to get help from those communities.
And so it goes. He is John Lott Jr., president of the Crime Prevention Research Center, the author of books including The War on Guns and More Guns, Less Crime. John, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Also, listen to this. Since 2009, 30% of experienced detectives have retired. And also the DNA evidence, it takes a year for it to return from the lab. And we could invest in technology that would have results within a few days. So that's another reason why there are so many unsolved murders.
Well-oiled machine, 100 years of Chicago Democrat rule of Chicago. Keep it up, Chicago.
A year for DNA testing. Just go to 23andMe. Today, partly sunny, seasonably warm, a high of 84 degrees. Tonight, it's going to be partly cloudy, a low of 67. And your weekend looks like this. It's going to be warm. No rain in the forecast, just sunshine and clouds both Saturday and Sunday. Highs in the mid to upper 80s. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. The one, the only, Jim Talamonte.
Dan and Amy, we do have up-to-date traffic information. The delay on southbound 53 has grown. It's now stop and go from Rand Road to Woodfield Road due to the ongoing construction in that area. Eastbound Adams Tollway I-90 a little heavy approaching 53. Reagan Tollway westbound, west of 83. The right lane's blocked. Got a car fire there. Expect to slow down eastbound in the area. Northbound Tri-State, stop and go from the Mile-Long Bridge to the Hinsdale Oasis. Then from the Reagan Tollway to Lawrence, the Veterans Memorial has northbound delays from Boughton most of the way to St. Charles. The Edens is fine. The Spur has delays in both directions. Kennedy, just 27 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Heavier in the Express. Outbound 32 minutes downtown to the airport. Eisenhower, 47 minutes, 390 to the Circle. Outbound 35. Stevenson, 50 minutes, 355 to the Drive. Outbound 36. Ryan is a 28-minute drive from 95th to downtown. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
You already know how much I love MyPillow. Their pillows, mattress toppers. I love their sheets, their pillowcases, the travel pillow. And I also love the pet bed. And right now, we have a contest for all you animal lovers out there. It is our Dog Days of Summer contest from now through August 23rd. You can win a MyPillow pet bed by entering into our contest. Just go to 560theanswer.com/dog. Submit a picture of your dog. Then tell your friends, family, and social networks to vote for your dog. The dog that receives the most votes will win a pet bed from MyPillow. I love it. It's made in America, and you can put it in the washer and dryer. And if you go to 560theanswer.com/dog, you can vote for my dog, Bunky, or Dan's dog, Hayek. If one of our dogs win, then we get to award the bed to a listener of our choice. So go to 560theanswer.com/dog to submit a picture of your pooch or to vote for your favorite dog. And don't forget that in August, you can purchase a MyPillow mattress topper and receive 2 standard MyPillows for free. You can also get 50% off the MyPillow 4-pack, which includes 2 MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere pillows. And when you use the promo code Amy, you get 30% off everything else at MyPillow.com, including those dog beds. MyPillow.com, promo code Amy.
Looking to refinance your existing home? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Bill's family was cruising until he loaded $50,000 on his credit cards to cover expenses after his income was cut in half. Stressed out and living paycheck to paycheck, Bill called Team Hochberg for a free consultation. We consolidated Bill's credit cards into a 30-year fixed loan, credited all his closing costs, and reduced his payments over $1,400 a month. Bill was stressed out before calling and saved over $16,000 a year after calling Team Hochberg. If you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck like Bill and would like to see if refinance can lower your monthly payment, call Team Hochberg now at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com.
Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
When you need bug bite relief.
Ow! Ow! What? Ow! Yikes!
Stepped in an ant bed relief.
What a pretty plant. Wait, is that
Poison ivy relief. You need the power of Gold Bond Relief. Gold Bond Rapid Relief Cream has twice the medicines of hydrocortisone formulas to fight itch and relieve minor pain. Plus, vitamin E and aloe to help soothe skin fast. Gold Bond. Relief starts now. Use as directed.
If you wear a denture, are you sure your breath is clean and fresh? Try Polident.
It's specifically designed to clean a denture because it's tough on odor-causing bacteria, but gentle on the denture itself. Polident has a 4-in-1 cleaning system with 4 powerful ingredients that work together to deep clean your denture. It kills 99.99% of odor-causing bacteria in laboratory testing and helps to remove stains. Feel confident and clean every day with Polident. Available at Walmart for a low price every day.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. Sarah Sanders refused to oblige CNN's Jim Acosta's demand to remove the enemy of the people moniker President Trump has bestowed upon the D.C. press corps. I guess the Secret Service protection Sanders now requires and the calls from that same press corps' fellow travelers to subject her to a lifetime of public harassment has Sanders not particularly interested in what Acosta thinks he deserves. Is the D.C. press corps a protector of the people? Is it a professional fourth estate acting as a check on the ruling class? Those descriptions don't seem to fit either, do they? Not all the members of the press corps are enemies to all of the people, but the great majority are devotees of every big government gambit launched since the New Deal. They cheer the economically illiterate agitprop of a millennial bartender and the communist virtue signaling of a backup quarterback. They want to force men into your daughter's locker room, Howard Zinn into her classroom, and religion out of her life. They call for our discourse to be elevated while welcoming a racist simp to the New York Times editorial board. They champion policies and policymakers who oppose free minds and interfere in free markets. Maybe the word to describe such people is not enemy, but I know it's not friend either.
My name is Lauren Sullivan, and I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 9 years ago, and I was severely disabled. And about 6 years ago, my mother had found Balance of Nature, so we decided to give it a try because at that point, nothing was helping. I was skeptical at first, but over time I realized I had more energy levels. I was sleeping better, which was huge, and my hair looked better, my skin looked better, my nails looked better, and then I was able to weed off some of those medications. And I know, had I not found Balance of Nature, I would not be living the quality of life that I am now.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The
Answer. Dan and Amy, so the Hollywood left wants you to like them again and pay attention to them. They're revamping the Oscars to make it more interesting for you, they think. First thing they should do is get rid of Jimmy Kimmel.
Well, yeah, because he's alienated half the country, and I'm done with him.
Before he even did that, though, I mean, he's like presided over some of the lowest rated Oscars and like the second lowest rated or third lowest rated Oscars.
But they keep bringing him back.
He sucks.
He's the darling of ABC. Whatever.
He topped out when Ben signs money. It's been downhill for him ever since. But here's what they actually are doing. They're expanding the number of best movie categories, best animated feature, Best Picture, of course, and now Outstanding Achievement in Popular Film.
So the blockbuster smash of the summer will probably win.
Yeah, well, how do you define popular, right? Is it by
that's what I was saying, box office sales, or maybe, DVD rental, on demand, or of them all combined?
Kyle Smith makes the point in National Review, though, where does The Revenant belong? It's an art film, but it earned $500 million. Where does Wes Anderson's Grand Budapest Hotel belong? Popular or just Best Picture?
Oh, could it be in both categories?
Yeah, I mean, it's all just, sophistry. But Mark Stein had a great riff on Stuart Varney yesterday, how this exposes the hypocrisy of Hollywood.
And as you said, Stuart, it's the dishonor. For 11 and a half months of the year, the motion picture business now is like Ant-Man 3, Iron Man 7, Cardboard Man 12, Franchise Man 53. And then for like 3 weeks before the Oscars, it's all suddenly like Oscar bait chick flicks, produced by Harvey Weinstein, oddly enough. And they pretend they're great artists. So it tells the sobering story of a woman growing up in transphobic Manitoba and you think, wait a minute, I never saw this film. It was just Franchise Man 57 when I was at the multiplex. That's all. So that's the thing. It's actually the contradiction between who they pretend to be and what this business model is.
I can't wait to see that sobering tale of the woman growing up in transphobic Manitoba.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk to Bloomberg columnist Ramesh Ponnuru about the socialist Medicare for All plan at 8:08.
But first, here's Mike Scott.
Authorities ID a man killed in a far south side home invasion. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
Be happy, be cool, or be suspended without pay. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's President Trump's message to NFL players after two more took a knee during the national anthem in a preseason game. The president tweeted, "Fans are paying so much money, find another way to protest." Miami Dolphin Kenny Stills told ESPN after he kneeled last night.
I thought I was going to be by myself out there, and today I had an angel with me.
Just continue into the regular season?
I don't see why not.
The angel was another player, Albert Wilson, who took a knee with him. A few other players raised their fists during the anthem last night. The president also tweeted he's just doubled tariffs on Turkey. Steel 50%, aluminum 20%, writing relations with that country are not good. The president's been demanding Turkey release a jailed American pastor. Former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort's due back in court this hour in a fraud case that has nothing to do with the campaign or Russia. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
Prosecutors in Paul Manafort's financial fraud trial say they expect to rest their case today. It comes a day after prosecutors focused on a key element of their case, the allegation that Manafort obtained millions of dollars in bank loans under false pretenses. A group of bank employees told jurors yesterday about discrepancies and outright falsehoods contained on Manafort's loan applications. So far, the prosecution has called more than 20 witnesses, including his longtime deputy Rick Gates, as they've sought to prove Manafort defrauded banks and concealed millions of dollars in offshore bank accounts from the IRS. Dave?
John is getting more tense in Kansas, where in the primary race for governor, Chris Kobach's lead over fellow Republican incumbent Jeff Collier is down to 121 votes. Governor Collier is urging Kobach, the Secretary of State, to stay away from ballot counting, and Kobach told Fox Business.
If he really wants me to recuse myself symbolically, I would be happy to do so.
20,000 people ordered to evacuate one of the newest fires charring California in Orange and Riverside counties. Others staying, ready to battle the flames themselves.
You know, this is our home, and we're not here to lose it.
Fox News, fair and balanced.
Partly sunny skies, 74 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Jury selection begins today in the trial of two reputed gang members. They're charged in the deadly shooting of Chicago teen Hadia Pendleton in 2013. President Donald Trump hitting Chicago political leadership hard over the spike in gun violence in the city last weekend.
That's bad stuff happening, and probably, I guess you have to take from the leadership. Let's go bad leadership. There's no reason in a million years that something like that should be happening in Chicago.
Meantime, Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner faults Chicago's mayor for failing to stop the violence in the city. Willie Wilson is defending his recent cash giveaways during his bid to become mayor of Chicago. Speaking yesterday at the Chicago Baptist Institute, the businessman said Illinois Attorney General Lisa Madigan's request for information was politically motivated, and he's tired of white people telling him what to do. Meantime, a new report from the University of Illinois says the first few weeks of school are key in fighting sexual misconduct on campus. The school released a report this morning saying the biggest problems with sexual misconduct are among freshmen in the first 2 months of classes. Bears fell to the Bengals in the NFL preseason 30-27. Cubs and Nationals this afternoon at Wrigley. Sox take on the Indians tonight on the south side. 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat from the Fox Business Network. Here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, pilots are striking discount airline Ryanair today in the peak of the vacation season in Europe. Reuters says the strike is impacting an estimated 55,000 travelers. Though Ryanair has recognized the union representing the pilots, the two sides have not reached a contract agreement. More trouble for Tesla. Its stock skidded again after reports that CEO Elon Musk is being investigated by the Securities and Exchange Commission for his tweet saying he plans to take the company private. And now tech website The Verge says Tesla's chief vehicle engineer, Doug Field, is leaving the company for Apple. It's believed Starbucks will launch its popular fall drink Pumpkin Spice Latte before Labor Day. Business Insider says the drink will debut on August 28th. The Dow was down 74 yesterday. NASDAQ added 3. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:04 on AM 560. Time for a dry basement and healthy home. Time to call Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Kevin Bastuga, co-founder of Signature Bank. If you get the feeling your deposits don't matter to your bank, then maybe you're not with the right bank. At Signature Bank, your deposits matter to us as much as your business loans. Signature provides unmatched banking expertise, custom financial solutions, and the industry's best technology to closely held Chicagoland businesses. Whether your business is looking for a deposit relationship or needs a ready source for financing, Signature Bank is the right bank for you. Call us today to see how Signature Bank can help your business grow and thrive.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event. And now, while selection is best, it's the best time to buy. With amazing offers across a full lineup of Ford vehicles, now is the time to make summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. Stop by a local Ford store or shop online at buyfordnow.com, because there is no better time than right now to get behind the wheel of a new Ford during the Ford Summer Sales Event. The Ford Summer Sales Event is here. Right now, get 0% APR financing for 72 months plus $1,000 Ford credit bonus cash on a great lineup of Ford SUVs. Best-selling claim based on 2017 calendar year sales. Not all buyers qualify for Ford credit financing. 72 months at $1,389 per month for $1,000 finance regardless of down payment. Not available on Expedition. For all offers, take new retail delivery from authorized Ford dealer stock by 8/31/18. See dealer or go to buyfordnow.com for qualifications and details.
My name is Todd. I am a firefighter, paramedic. I'm a husband, I'm a dad, and I am no longer suffering from depression. With depression, you don't want to make friends. You just want to be alone. And it was a way of life for me. I have been seeing a psychologist for several years and not really getting anywhere. I've tried 11 different medications, which some of the side effects that I experienced were pretty severe. I finally reached out for help myself. It's very satisfying to know that something works.
HPR centers in Chicagoland and Milwaukee offer TMS therapy. In just a few weeks, you can change your life, and it's FDA cleared. It's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and Medicare. You can make real progress in the battle with depression, cure or remission. Get a free consultation. 800-604-0208. 800-604-0208. HPR centers. Go to endmydepression.com. End your depression.
This hourly segment is brought to you by St. John's Northwestern Military Academy. More info online at sjnma.org.
It is 8:08. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Southbound 53 has heavy roadwork delays from Rand Road to Woodfield Road. Southbound 355, Veterans Memorial, it's heavy from North Avenue to 22nd Street. The northbound delays are from Boughton to St. Charles. Tri-State southbound jammed Toohey to the Irving Park Toll. Northbound from the Mile Long Bridge to the Hinsdale Oasis and from the Reagan Tollway to Lawrence. The other tollways look okay. Eden's 19 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 20. The Spur is heavy, especially eastbound with construction. The Kennedy, just 29 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 19 from Montrose, but 22 in the Express. Outbound 11 minutes to Montrose, 34 from downtown to the airport. About Eisenhower, slow St. Charles to the Tri-State and Cicero to the Circle. 45 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 36. Inbound Stevenson, 48 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 38. The Rhine is 28 minutes, 95 to downtown. Northwest Indiana looks great. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center and meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, partly sunny and seasonably warm, high 84. Partly cloudy night, low 67. Tomorrow, sunshine mixing with some clouds, high 86. Mainly clear tomorrow night, low 69. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
73 at O'Hare, 76 along the lake. Next news, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Eva Peron, and Comrade Bernie took it on the shorts a little bit on Tuesday. And so the question becomes, since all the energy is with the socialists, Democrat Socialists and the Democrat Socialist Party, when they can't focus in on a specific special election like Ohio 12, will they be able to generate turnout for moderate, more establishment Democrats that are going to be keys for victory in terms of Democrat takeover of the House, if that is to come to pass? People focused on the Trump voter. Will the Trump voter turn out for congressional candidates? And Pew Research suggesting nearly 1 in 5 Trump voters may be somewhat disillusioned, somewhat chilly with respect to Trump today. And so will that cost Republicans in suburban races and states that lean blue or are blue, and will that make the difference for Democrats? What about the socialists? Because Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she's not going away.
No, and she falsely explained that the American upper middle class, which is the fastest growing class in America, has disappeared. Oh, okay.
So I think that politically, this upper middle class is probably more moderate. Mm-hmm. But that upper middle class doesn't exist anymore in America. And thanks to the continued deregulation of Wall Street, thanks to the continued gutting of working and middle class people, we need stronger champions. But I don't think that they see exactly how rising income inequality has resulted in a very stark political reality, and it has changed our political landscape. But their heyday was in the 90s when kids had Furbies and parents, you had soccer moms with 2 vans and stuff
Furbies and 2 vans.
Yeah.
That's a dream.
That's not America anymore.
She's so...
Can she grow up?
Well, she's so ignorant, but here's the thing. It's just bizarre. A couple things. One is we don't have classes in this country. We have socioeconomic quintiles, and we have people that move up and down the socioeconomic ladder all the time. And the data bears that out over time. Number two, Phil Gramm had a good piece, former United States Senator from Texas, good piece in the Wall Street Journal yesterday talking about income inequality in America. And it turns out that our Gini coefficient, measuring income inequality, is not dissimilar to other G7 nations when you account for all of the government programs that transfer income between Americans. So it's actually Ocasio-Cortez that is spinning myths and propagating envy, because that is, as Churchill said, those are the features of socialism. For more on this topic and the good news that you won't have to worry about your funeral costs under Ocasio-Cortez culture, we're pleased to be joined by Ramesh Ponnuru. He is the columnist for Bloomberg View. He's also senior editor for National Review, and he writes about these topics and many others. Ramesh, thanks for being with us again. Appreciate it.
I'm glad to be on.
So Ocasio-Cortez and Medicare for All, which is being reluctantly adopted as perhaps the lead plank in the Democrat Socialist 2018 platform, even the likes of Bain Capital principal or director Deval Patrick has adopted it.
Yeah, well, it's part of the Democrats' kind of race to the left right now. And I do think it is, in addition to being bad policy, politically risky, because the central fact of healthcare politics for at least 20 years now has been that people don't like the idea of disruption in their health arrangements that's imposed by Washington, D.C. That's usually been a problem for big government proposals. Occasionally it's been a problem for conservative free market proposals. But, a single-payer plan, Medicare for all, literally means your health insurance is threatened. The health insurance that, scores of millions of people get from their employers, for example, is under threat. And you really wonder whether people have thought through the politics of that.
Yeah. So, just pontificate on that a little bit more.
So, if you remember, when Obama was selling his health care plan in 2009 and 2010, one of the central claims he made was, if you like your health insurance, you can keep your health insurance. Now, this did not turn out to be strictly true, but he at least understood the political problem there, that people didn't want to be told, look, these arrangements that you've made, that you're comfortable with, are all going to be upended because we've got this great plan. Don't worry, it's all going to be wonderful. The problem with single-payer Medicare for all, apart from its cost, which is a huge problem in itself, is that it can't even start making that promise. It has to say from the beginning, look, we've got a better idea. And that is going to be a really, really hard sell with most people, and rightly so.
Why does this debate, though, present a particular problem for conservatives in your estimation?
So, in a way, it's too politically vulnerable, right? So the problem is that Republicans would like nothing better than to campaign against these socialized medicine ideas and not have to talk about their own proposals to make healthcare more free market and to move away from Obamacare. And the problem is that over time, if you have a sort of a one-sided debate where the left is pushing for its ideas and all that Republicans are doing is batting them down, you slowly lose, right? Because eventually the Democrats have a landslide victory the way they did in 2008, and they get to ratchet the whole system to the left towards socialized medicine. And all Republicans are doing is resisting that. They're not trying to actually make the system more like what conservatives would want. That, I think, is, that's pretty good setup for Republicans because they can do what they're most comfortable doing, which is resisting the left. And they can make some political gains by talking about the threat of socialism. But over the long run, it means that you lose ground.
With respect to the midterms, because this is all sort of setting up for a discussion of the midterms, I mentioned the Pew Research out about the Trump coalition that elected him in 2016 and kind of where they're categorized at this point, with nearly 1 in 5 expressing some reservations about Trump. And the question sort of becomes, in my mind, will Trump's personality do what Obama's policy choices did, which is turn majorities into minorities? And is that really going to be the basis on which the midterms turn?
Well, it is a risk. Midterm elections are referenda on the president, and they typically, although not always, but typically go against the president just because the opponents of the president are more revved up and the supporters are more complacent. So, even if this president were not sort of going out of his way at some occasions to provoke the other side, that would be the case. But probably Trump has made that a little bit worse for himself and for Republicans. And his numbers are lower than they would be for a normal president presiding over a strong economy. So that's the threat. One thing, though, I would say is just because you were a reluctant Trump supporter, it doesn't mean that you're not a supporter of congressional Republicans. right? I mean, you could have a very, very Trump-specific problem or concern, but while basically being a conservative Republican. And the other thing is, look, Trump wouldn't have won the election in the first place without an awful lot of people who were swallowing their doubts or holding their noses to vote for him, given the alternative.
Well, and
the problem right now, though, is there is more enthusiasm on the left side.
Yeah.
There's enthusiasm, but it's also sort of a one big dung show, too, I think, to a lot of people. I mean, just to today, a smattering of what I'm talking about. Wall Street Journal, Democrat Party's new litmus test, gun control. Bill Nelson spinning yarns about Russians have already compromising the Florida electoral system. Op-ed writers at the New York Times talking about the Constitution being designed to protect rich people like Donald Trump, and it needs to be changed. The Constitution's not going to be saved. Salon.com, we're at the press the hysteria button point with climate change, in addition to what you hear from Ocasio-Cortez. And it's, I mean, all that cacophony of weirdness, I don't think serves the Democrats, regardless of how enthusiastic the socialists are.
Well, so that's, one other question about the fall campaign that's shaping up is, do the Democrats, by overreaching, generate some of that enthusiasm from the Republicans? Because, look, what a lot of Republicans want to sell right now is we've got a strong economy, tax cuts, deregulation are working, we've got some good court appointments, and all that's great, but that's all reasons to be happy, reasons to be satisfied, and those aren't typically the way that you motivate people to actually come out and vote in a low turnout election, like a midterm election. Grievances, threats, fears, dangers, that's what gets people much more likely to actually go out there and sort of do battle. And the Democrats, I think, are the ones who are providing that kind of impetus for the Republicans right now.
He is Ramesh Ponnuru, columnist for Bloomberg View, senior editor for National Review. Ramesh, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And he joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, a Facebook shooting. But first, here's your forecast. Today, it's going to be partly sunny. It's seasonably warm, humid out there. You'll feel it once you get outside. A high of 84 degrees. Your weekend looks fantastic. Sunshine, some clouds, highs in the mid to upper 80s. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Amy, your inbound Kennedy looks fantastic right now. It's slow between Addison and the Burn Circle, but it's just 29 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 19 from Montrose, 22 in the express lanes. They're a bit heavier. Some delays on the Ohio feeder. Outbound, 11 minutes to Montrose, 34 to the airport. Edens is fine inbound. Outbound, you've got a little bit of a heavy traffic around Niles Center Road, but it's fairly light. The spur does have roadwork delays both ways. Think about Eisenhower. It's 45 minutes, 390 to downtown, 30 from Manheim. Outbound, 36 minutes to 390. Stevenson, 48 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 38. Ryan, 24 minutes, 95th to downtown. It's fine outbound. Fisherport inbound heavy, 8094 to 159th. The crash there quickly cleared. Southbound Tri-State jammed, 2E to the Irving Park toll. Northbound delays, Mile Long Bridge, Hinsdale Oasis, from Reagan all the way to Lawrence. Veterans Memorial. Northbound slow Boughton to St. Charles. Southbound North Avenue to 22nd. We have roadwork delays on southbound 53 from Rand to Woodfield. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Oh, it seems like summer just got started, but it's not too soon to start thinking about the fall. It's right around the corner. And at least when it comes to your child's education. Registration for fall enrollment for grades 7 to 12 is happening now at St. John's Northwestern Military Academy, just located outside of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's now providing young men and women with an outstanding education and preparation for life. There is day boarding or full boarding available. It's a beautiful campus set on 110 acres. I saw it. I loved it. I loved it so much that my kids went to summer camp there. And St. John's Northwestern Military Academy immerses young men and women in a culture of leadership that inspires personal growth through a commitment to excellence in academics, spiritual and character development, athletics, and our military traditions, shaping young minds since 1884. as a mom sending my sons to camp because St. John's resonates with the values that I want to see my children grow up with. To learn more about fall enrollment or to schedule a visit or to have them answer any of your questions, simply call 1-800-SJ-CADET. That's 1-800-SJ-CADET, or visit their website, sjnma.org. That's sjnma.org.
Your daughter's wedding is one of the proudest moments of your life, a moment you and your family will treasure for the rest of your lives. As the months of planning start to unfold and you get closer to the special day, things can get a bit hectic. So many important details. To capture these once-in-a-lifetime memories and not have to worry about anything but the celebration, trust Artland Photography for every precious moment. At Artland Photography, it's all about you. No matter what your style, their photographers have the skill and experience to capture the moments quickly and stay out of the way. They'll make it easy to enjoy all of the smiles, laughter, and tears to enjoy for generations. Visit them at artland.com, where you can see their amazing work and outstanding reviews for yourself. Plus, learn about a special limited-time offer. You'll know why Artland Photography has been Wedding Wire's couple's choice for the last 5 years. They also shoot everything from major corporate events to business and family portraits. Visit artland.com. It's all about you.
Are you tired of working for someone else making them rich? Do you have a positive attitude and an entrepreneur mindset? And are you willing to take real risk? Then you're in luck. The NV Real Estate Company has been perfecting the art of wholesaling properties for cash. And when you call now, they'll send you a free copy of their new kit, The Hidden Treasures in Wholesaling Property. In this kit, you'll see their wholesaling formula for locating, evaluating, and flipping properties for profit in any area. You'll also learn how to potentially access discounted real estate and find the right funding partners for that property to wholesale. Call 1-800-587-0182 now to get your free wholesaling kit. Call 800-587-0182 now and get free admission to live training in your area, which includes a free meal, a free smartwatch, and free USB drive loaded with his training information. Call 800-587-0182. That's 800-587-0182 now and get your free kit today.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that use Balance of Nature as well.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. I take Balance of Nature because I know, I've seen it in my lab, and I know that it works. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. And that, to me, as a scientist, rings so true.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Now's the time to soak up that summer sun and spend time with friends and family. Instead of spending that valuable time on home projects, let Home Advisor take them off your plate. Whether you've been thinking about a big project like installing a new sprinkler system or a small project like just mowing the lawn, go to homeadvisor.com. Tell them what you need. In just seconds, you're going to be matched with the best pros in your area who can do the work and do it right. You can read customer reviews of the pros, check their availability, even book appointments online for a time that works best for you. And with Home Advisor's Project Cost Guide, you can check what others paid for similar jobs in your area so you know you're getting a fair price. No matter what home project you've been thinking about, installing a new AC unit, new windows, maybe a big job like a new roof, Home Advisor makes it easy to find and hire the best pros in your area. Find great pros now to handle the job this summer so you can kick back and relax. Go to homeadvisor.com or download the free app to get started on your next project. That's homeadvisor.com, homeadvisor.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-444-2013. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-444-2013. 800-444-2013.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
The cultural Marxists out for the poets now. And then they came for the poets at 8:38.
And you have to hear what one woman said to a police officer after a DUI arrest. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
74 degrees, sunshine. Police in Canada say at least 4 are dead. What's being described as a mass shooting. It happened in the eastern province of New Brunswick, in the provincial capital of Fredericton. The Holy Fire in California's Cleveland National Forest. It's burned through more than 10,000 acres. The governor there issuing a state of emergency overnight for Orange and Riverside counties. Fire is 5% contained. Kansas Secretary of State Chris Kobach says he will recuse himself from the controversial vote tally process in that state.
It's purely sort of a titular role. You're head of the state election process, but all of the work is done at the county level. The counties do the counting of ballots. There's really no point to it, but I said if my opponent wishes me to, I'd be happy to.
Kobach is the current frontrunner in that Republican primary for Kansas governor, but only about 100 votes ahead of the current governor, Jeff Collier. President Trump taking on the NFL players who protested during playing of the national anthem last night during preseason games. The president tweeting out, quote, "Find another way to protest. Stand proudly for your anthem or be suspended without pay," end quote. Jury selection begins today in the trial of 2 reputed gang members charged in the deadly shooting of a Chicago teen, Hadia Pendleton. 2 teenage boys and a woman wounded in a drive-by shooting on Chicago's west side. The victims were standing on a sidewalk late yesterday on West Arthington Street when someone in a passing vehicle fired shots. No arrests have been made. The president of the Willow Creek Association is apologizing for how allegations of sexual misconduct against Willow Creek Church founder Bill Hybels were handled. Tom DeVries telling a packed auditorium at the Global Leadership Summit yesterday that mistakes were made by not condemning Hybels' actions to a greater degree and more publicly. And a Florida man this morning says he mistakenly got Christmas a little early. A pro golfer's winnings in his bank account. Thomas Fleetwood, golf pro from Orlando, says he got a bank notice last week showing a deposit in his account of $155,000 from the PGA European Tour. However, that money was meant for golfer Tommy Fleetwood, who finished tied for 33rd in the British Open. Thomas Fleetwood says that money has been returned. Bears first-teamers didn't play all that well, but the rest of the team looked pretty good. Team still lost to the Bengals in the NFL preseason, 30-27. Gary Woodland is on top of the leaderboard at Bellerive in St. Louis at the PGA Championship. Cubs and Nationals this afternoon, Sox and Indians tonight. The news service of Compassion International, sponsoring a child with compassion, is the most effective way to end extreme child poverty. Release a child from poverty when you become a Compassion sponsor. Choose your child now at compassion.com/radio. Do your part to release a child from poverty today. 8:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher wants an end to the Russia investigation.
Asking about the Mueller investigation, he wants it over with. Rudy Giuliani was quoted as saying that the president's attitude is enough already. Somebody asked Giuliani, a reporter, is he going to fire Mueller? No, he doesn't want to fire Mueller. He wants it to be over with. Get it over with. There's no collusion. Give it up.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Bubba Burger is America's favorite burger. Bubba Burger offers something for everyone at the grill. Beef, turkey, and veggie burgers. The brand, the quality, the convenience. You'll never bite a burger better than a Bubba.
If you're a timeshare owner, listen up. I've got great news for you. Lone Star Transfer is the #1 company to help you get out of your timeshare. No one wants to deal with a timeshare, but when you have to, no one does it better than my friends at Lone Star Transfer. Imagine never having to pay another maintenance fee. What a terrific feeling. Everyone knows you don't have to own a timeshare to go on beautiful vacations. Free up that cash. Go where and when you want. Call 844-310-3116. Wouldn't it be terrific to be out of that timeshare quickly and effortlessly? Lone Star Transfer will do the work to get it done. Lone Star Transfer has helped over 6,000 clients. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, all with an outstanding success rate. Don't let another day go by being anxious. Call now. Get out of your timeshare once and for all. Call 844-310-3116. Lone Star Transfer. That's 844-310-3116. Or online. Go to LoneStarTransfer.com.
8:35 at Check on the Morning Roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. We're headed to northwest Indiana. Major thoroughfares all look good there. Not so in southern Wisconsin. On northbound or westbound 94, it's heavy in Kenosha County from 142, Highway KR. On 53 in the northwest suburbs, with roadwork delays again this morning, it's heavy southbound Rand to Woodfield Road. Veterans Memorial southbound, stop and go North Avenue to 22nd Street. Northbound delays from 75th to St. Charles. On the northbound Tri-State, traffic's gummed up from the Vylong Bridge to Hinsdale Oasis, from the Reagan Tollway to Lawrence. Southbound jammed 2-way to the Irving Park Toll. The Edens is fine. Spur has delays both ways. Kennedy inbound heavier now. Kimball to Randolph, 35 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 25 for Montrose, 22 in the Express. Outbound 24 minutes to O'Hare. Eisenhower, 42 minutes, 390 to downtown, 26 from Manheim. Outbound it's fine. Stevenson, 52 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 35. Ryan is 24 minutes, 95th to downtown. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Partly sunny, seasonably warm. We'll top out at 84. Partly cloudy skies, 67 overnight. Sunshine tomorrow. We'll mix with clouds. Corey's Kids Triathlon in Riverside, high 86. Currently 74. Next news coming up at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein, the show for business and jobs powered by Tandem HR. Heard Sunday evenings at 6.
Listen to podcasts of Joe Walsh and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Interesting goings on in Florida. We had a couple weeks ago that guy who went to that gas station convenience store.
Oh, with the alligator?
Yeah, taped shut. Ran around chasing a guy with his taped up alligator because he wanted beer.
Yeah. Do you know that he doesn't remember any of that?
Yeah.
But that's how hammered he was?
If I had a nickel. Yeah, I know.
They charged me fine, but I don't remember a darn thing.
Here's another incident that went from Facebook spat to a physical confrontation. Two Floridians, or friends on Facebook, not anymore, got into such a heated political argument that a 44-year-old Brian Sebring, who is a registered Democrat, packed up his AR-15 and a Glock and drove over to Alex Stevens' home and shot him in the ass and the thigh.
According to this affidavit, the fight on Facebook spilled over into explicit messages and threats being sent by the eventual victim. That appears to have prompted 44-year-old Brian Sebring to show up at the victim's home near Ballast Point and confront him. TPD says Sebring was expecting a fight, so he armed himself with a Glock semi-automatic pistol and an AR-15 carbine. When Sebring got to his Facebook friend's home, officers say the victim charged at Sebring, who then drew his pistol and fired 2 shots at the victim, hitting him in the thigh and, well, the derriere. Sebring then fled and later turned himself into police. And according to the Florida Division of Elections, Sebring is a registered Democrat in the state, but it is unclear what political topic exactly sparked their argument.
I assume somebody called somebody by the wrong gender pronoun.
Oh, of course.
And
that's always how it starts.
And those are,
and it never ends well.
Those are shooting words. I will say it's, try and silver lining this story a little bit. It is nice to see a Democrat who's a gun owner.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, maybe there's hope for Brian Sebring. Should we take Brian Sebring's AR-15 and Glock away from him? Actually, probably we should if he's shooting people over Facebook exchanges. So that was going on. Now, in a good news shooting, a happy shooting of sorts.
Did it have a happy ending?
Well,
we don't.
It might have had a happy ending had great-grandma Jean Wilson not intervened, but she sort of stopped the happy ending. This is the Houston woman.
Yeah, we talked about her yesterday.
Right, but we didn't hear from her.
No.
And you want to hear from Jean Wilson explaining what she did when confronted with a masturbating cyclist who tried to break into her home.
Jean Wilson remembers every moment from start to finish.
Pants gapped open and it just playing with itself, And I said, get away from me, get away from me. I said, leave my house. Don't come up to my door. And that's where he stepped at. That's the last place he stepped. I said, you pull my...
Those are his footsteps,
yes,
right
ma'am.
there.
I said, you reach for my door, I'm going to shoot you.
Mm-hmm. Put your hands up. The other hand...
So this guy, he's a known bicyclist masturbator. That sounds really weird.
You can have more than one hobby.
And also, he's no stranger to police because he's been arrested before for streaking, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Just walking around town naked. So then he bikes naked, and then he's a burglar naked, too.
His name is Clarence Johnson.
And we're not making that up. He's 38 years old. But she did not kill him when she fired that shot.
No, and now the story turns.
Yeah, Dan.
She wasn't just frightened because this guy was coming at her. She was also worried because she had children in the house.
He could have hurt my kids. And that's all I got.
Her kids are her disabled grandson she cares for, her 11-year-old great-granddaughter who was inside. Johnson survived. He remains hospitalized from the bullet wound to his stomach. Wilson protected her family, but she takes no pleasure in what happened. She's grateful that her family is safe and that no one died, including the man she says she was forced to shoot.
And thank you, Jesus. Thank you.
We had to go and take a big fun Friday, and now it's all sad because she's a...
Well, it's not sad because she and her kids are safe because of the action she took. So, again, in summary, going to somebody's home to shoot them because you had an argument on Facebook, not a good shoot.
No.
A great-grandma protecting her home and her children from a masturbating cyclist trying to break in, good shoot. You're welcome.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Taking a knee during the singing of the national anthem. Yes, the games have begun. Who knelt and why? And also an Atlanta school eliminates the morning Pledge of Allegiance. We'll tell you why. First, here's your forecast today. It is sunny out, a few high clouds. It's going to be warm, humid, 84 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low 67. And for the weekend, we're going to have sunshine on both Saturday and Sundays. Some high clouds and warm, highs in the mid to upper 80s. Let's jump into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Let's make sure that inbound Kennedy is awfully clear, right, Jim Telemonte?
Well, it's gotten a little bit heavier, Amy. It's still not awful, but it's heavier than it was about 20 minutes ago. It's stop and go from Kimball to Randolph. Travel time is 35 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 25 from Montrose, 22 in the Express. Outbound, it's 10 minutes to Montrose, 24 to the airport. The Edens is fine, but the Spur has delays. Eastbound for the Tri-State to Waukegan Road, that's construction. And westbound, the Edens to the Toll Plaza. Inbound Eisenhower, from 390 to downtown, it's 42 minutes, 26 from Manheim. Outbound all clear. Stevenson, 52 minutes, 355 to the drive. Outbound 35. Ryan, 24 minutes, 95 to downtown. Bishop Ford, a little heavy, inbound at 159th after a crash. Tri-State southbound still jammed, 280 to the Irving Park toll after a much earlier crash. Northbound delays up from the Mile Long Bridge to the Hinsdale Oasis, and from the Reagan toll to Lawrence. Southbound Veterans Memorial, stop and go North Avenue to 22nd. Northbound 75th to St. Charles, and 53 again has roadwork delays on the southbound side, Rand to Woodfield Road. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Oh, it's only a few weeks away. The school year will begin for many of those in the suburbs, and maybe you've spent the summer rethinking about sending your kids to public school. Things are changing in our public schools and not always for the better. So now might be the time to consider sending your child to a private school, and you could do it for half the price of regular tuition thanks to halfpriceschools.com, where you can find tuition vouchers for private schools across Chicagoland available at half off the normal price. There is no catch. It's real simple. Find a private school near you, purchase the tuition voucher, and prepare to send your child off to school this fall. HalfPriceSchools.com has schools located all across the Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. Daystar School in Chicago. There's Calvin Christian School in South Holland, just to name a few. But don't delay. School will be starting soon. Visit HalfPriceSchools.com today, and just know that many of these vouchers have already sold out, so do not wait. HalfPriceSchools.com.
Hey, Craig and Leslie here from In the Know. I love to barbecue, but there's nothing worse than running out of propane in the midst of cooking. It's all about being prepared, and that's how we look at your retirement planning.
Absolutely. That's why our whole team at Wealth Management Group is fired up about helping you be ready.
Tune in each week as we discuss practical ways to be ready for your retirement.
Find us at investwithwmg.com and pick Wealth Management Group to be your +1 this summer. Listen to In the Know Sunday mornings at 10, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
On August 10th, get ready for a comedy that's off the leash.
Do you think I'm ridiculous throwing a party for my dog? I would say that bouncy house is over the top.
Or lonely strangers will discover that man's best friend...
No offense, but is your dog pregnant or just super fat?
...are the best matchmakers.
Dogs open their hearts to love and to be loved.
This dog has made us a family.
Dog Days, now playing in theaters.
Hey guys, Ken here from the Business Accelerator podcast, Today's Growth. If you had to choose a vehicle to take you up the rocky side of a mountain, would you choose a Ferrari or a Jeep? The Ferrari's faster, cooler, maybe even sexier, but if you have to get to the top, the Jeep's a better bet. I think we can agree getting to the top is not about the driver, it's the vehicle. Have you noticed people often pick their financial vehicle like they pick their cars? Washington Post shared that only 1 out of 4 people choose a job that uses their college degree. Why? Simple. Something more immediate, maybe cooler, maybe even sexier came along first. Shouldn't the main deciding factors for revenue generation be production or output? Should the cool factor have any weight in choosing someone's income? If getting to the top of the financial mountain is mission critical for you, why not add a few Jeeps to your garage? Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that makes it to the top every time? If so, you have to see the Jeeps lined up at IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
My husband's blood pressure has dropped 30 points. I've lost 8 pounds. He's lost about 20 pounds. His arthritis is gone. You guys have given me back my husband. I'd come home from work, and if he beat me home from work, he would be laying in the recliner, and I would feed him supper in his recliner and would be like really boring, pathetic old people watching TV while we ate dinner and then go to bed exhausted and wake up tired. I came home from work last night, and he was mowing the lawn. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's so amazing.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy get some reaction to the shooting in Houston, the great-grandma who shot the masturbating cyclist. who is a repeat offender.
No, masturbating bicyclist burglar.
Well, yeah.
Because he would rob people. So
you can't just shoot people for masturbating.
Right. I mean,
the burglary.
But he was
key.
getting closer, and she's like, "Yeah, stop touching that thing and get away from me, or I'll shoot you." And she did.
Yeah, get that finger out of your ear. You don't know where that finger's been, sort of, kind of. Sean in Elmwood Park.
I just want to know, Prof, was the masturbating bicyclist, did he have a helmet on? I want the full mental picture. And nothing brings me joy like those bicyclists with their helmet on.
Yeah.
Safety first.
That's it, like the President of the United States. Very good, although I'm not accusing the former president of anything other than being a cyclist.
Okay.
And then the second thing is, leave those clips when the show's over, okay? I got to do Walsh's show tonight. I need clips. You know how I like to prepare. So leave your homework there.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, I'll leave you a copy of my blog.
Just like high school for Sean, copying off other people's work. All right, Thanks for the call, Sean.
No, we'll leave all the audio in the vault. That's what we call it, Sean. So you can.
Sean in for Walsh today. Okay, good.
From 5 to 7.
Whatever time that show is.
I'm going to call in. I'm going to be Hillary from Mount Prospect.
All right. Ralph and Rantoul.
Good morning. You don't like hearing about people getting shot. It's a serious thing. But clearly the common denominator and all that is the guy needs his bicycle to be taken away. I don't think you're going to cure him of all his naked escapades because most of the mental hospitals have been shut down. But maybe if he can't get around so easily, people of Houston would be protected more from weirdos, crazy people like that.
Yeah. Well, I think Grandmama put a little hitch in his giddy up. Thanks for the call, Ralph. Yeah, so that's good news. NFL.
All right, yeah, so they had the preseason game last night. 2 Miami Dolphins players, I don't even care what their names are, took a knee. Another one raised a fist up and is, up to the sky to protest what? We're not really sure. Something.
Black
police.
Power.
Yeah, Black Power.
Probably.
A few Jacksonville Jaguars sat in the tunnel and didn't come out. And a few other football players from different teams sat in the locker room, which is fine. If you don't want to respect our country, don't show your face. But if you're out on the field, stand up and be a man. President Trump did respond.
Did all the male cheerleaders come out? Did any of them take a knee?
We haven't seen the likes of them yet. I mean, honestly, I don't want to go through this again this year, this pregame.
Go through what?
All the who's kneeling, who's standing.
Oh, just don't pay any attention.
And then I have to look at the male cheerleaders. Quickly, President Trump tweeted, The NFL players are at it again, taking a knee when they should be standing proudly for the national anthem. Numerous players from different teams wanted to show their outrage at something that most of them are unable to define. They make a fortune doing what they love. Be happy. Be cool. A football game that fans are paying so much money to watch and enjoy is no place to protest. Most of that money goes to the players anyway. Find another way to protest. Stand proudly for your national anthem or be suspended without pay.
Oh my gosh, so tiresome. The whole thing is just exhausting. Who cares? Don't pay attention if you don't like it. And the NFL will continue to suffer as the result of the antics of some of the players and the discipline or lack of discipline imposed by owners and by the league. So whatever. The good news is Mitch Trubisky was 2 for 4 for 4 yards.
2 for 4 for 4 yards.
So off firing out of the gate. I think I'm going to take the over in terms of Bears wins this season. I'm going to go over 3. I think that's a 4-win team if it's worth a 1 win.
Wow. Well, maybe he wasn't playing because he didn't want to get hurt.
Well, he didn't.
He was on the field, but he wasn't giving 100%. We hope.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's a preseason game. You don't want to get injured for nothing dumb preseason game.
Right. The way you don't get injured in an NFL game is to play at half speed and try not to get injured. That's the way you don't get injured. Okay.
That's why I'm a coach.
Yeah. Okay, Coach.
I need to brush up on football, though, that's for sure.
Perry and Niles, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. If you were serious all the time, you would never hear from me.
Oh, yeah.
Really. I know why this guy was bicycling in the nude. And once you do that, one thing leads to another. So
what?
He didn't want his pants to get caught in a chain.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
right. It's so much easier. Thanks for the call,
Perry. There's a rubber band for that you can put around your
You could roll them up.
That's what I used to do because I'd had bell bottoms and you put or roll them up. Did you roll yours up?
No, I don't ride a bike.
about when you were a kid? Didn't you ride with a safety flag on back of your banana seat?
No.
And then you roll up your leg or use a
No, you wear bike
band?
shorts so you have easy access.
Bike shorts.
You know, so you can do, one hand on the handlebars and the other hand,
Well, you rode hands-free, right? I'd pop a wheelie and could drive all the way down Kiowa with my. I was pretty cool.
Where was your other hand?
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. Buying a home should be one of life's best experiences, but today's fluctuating interest rates can leave you with unexpected higher payments. And that can turn a great experience into an anxious one. At Quicken Loans, we've created a new way to protect you from unpredictable interest rates. It's called the Power Buying Process. We check your income, assets, and credit to provide you with a verified approval, which can give you the strength of a cash buyer. Once verified, you qualify for our exclusive Rate Shield approval. First, we lock your interest rate for up to 90 days while you find your new home. Then, once you've found your new home, if rates have gone up, your rate stays locked. But if rates have gone down, your rate drops, and you get to keep that new lower rate. Either way, you win. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year fixed-rate loans. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030. Additional conditions or exclusions may apply.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Ryan Siebert, CEO of SG Homebuilders and a customer of Signature Bank. Over the last 10 years, my business pivoted multiple times to adjust to the fluctuations in the Chicago real estate market. Signature Bank's partnership with us and their ability to adapt to changes has allowed us to become a leading custom home builder. Signature Bank is a relationship-based business bank right here in Chicago, providing services and advice that address our unique situation, and they serve as a trusted consultant on what works best for my business. Signature Bank helped us build SG Homebuilders while we were busy building dream homes for our clients.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Message and data rates may apply. Texting enrolls for recurring text messages. Nice game. Man, you're really playing hard today.
Yeah, it shows what a great night's sleep will do. Since I started using Z-Quiet for my snoring, there's no more waking up getting elbowed. And no more moving to the couch in the middle of the night. For the first time in years, the snoring's gone. And my wife and I both wake up feeling great. It's amazing, so easy to use, and it worked the very first night.
I'm Dan Webster, co-founder of Z-Quiet. For years, I was off my game due to snoring. My wife Trina and I were desperate for a solution, and we found it with Z-Quiet. There's nothing better than waking up feeling rested, happy, and best of all, in the same bed. So if you're ready to score extra points in the bedroom, get Z-Quiet.
Z-Quiet fits both men and women, and right now you can try it risk-free for a full 30 days for just $9.95. Just text SLEEP to 246810 or go to getzquiet.com. Text SLEEP to 246810 or go to getzquiet.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, we've got to end the show on a serious note here because Mike Scott has got some breaking news about shooting involving police officers in Canada. Mike, you were telling us.
It is 4 dead. We've been following it in the newsroom, but now the CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Company, and local police are saying two of the dead are police officers, and they may have been targeted as police were searching a square of apartments in the town of Fredericton, which is the provincial capital.
And you said they have a suspect in custody.
They have a suspect in custody as of right now. No word on who that suspect is or nationality or religion in this case. Very crime-free type of city, Fredericton in New Brunswick, although nearby in Moncton, a few years ago, they had 3 Royal Canadian Mounted Police officers targeted and killed.
And this comes a few weeks after that shooting in Toronto, which was,
they said it was, he's depressed, Dan.
Nothing to do with terrorism. And then as the facts started coming out, in addition to ISIS taking credit for it, it started to seem like this Pakistani Canadian may have been radicalized.
Yeah, and 2 people were killed, a 19-year-old woman and then a child. So everyone have a safe, happy, and healthy weekend. Our thanks to Justin Kosick, our technical director, Quinn McCarthy, and Keith Conrad, our executive producers. We're back here Monday morning, bright and early, 5 a.m. Have a wonderful weekend. Now here is Mike Scott.
A wanted sex offender from Texas has ties to the Chicago area. We'll tell you why. Willie Wilson is defending those cash giveaways as he runs for mayor. Bears lost to the Bengals. Cubs hosting the Nationals, while the White Sox will host the Indians this weekend. A partly sunny and seasonably warm day ahead, a high of 84. Partly cloudy and 67 overnight in your forecast, and high of 86 tomorrow. WIND Chicago News Time is 9 o'clock.